So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat, Saadiq. And this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are the third co-host, because this is probably one of the only shows where we try to read each and every comment, because we feel like you should be heard too. Also like to say a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scene on Facebook to make the show go further. And we will get to your comments in just a second. And today we are going to be talking about S's for Symbolism, the CBC, also known as a Congressional Black Caucus. They want to go on down to Sesame Street, honey, and meet with the head of Sesame Place. We're going to get into it. So, Donovan, what say you? And who's on here really quick? We got Tracy, Kimmy, Michael. How you doing? Thunder, what's up, baby? Gary, how you doing? All right, Donovan, so what say you?
All right, it's Sunday. That means it's Demetra K. Welcome to the show. You guys, do us a favor. Share this on your platforms to get the message out and spread the word. And also, like, share, and subscribe. And if you really want to be an excellent contributor, subscribe. The more subscribers we have, the better. Yes. Now, I don't really want to talk down about my good old boys from Sesame Street, because that's where I learned my basic Spanish, cerrado, things like that. But this is going to be an interesting topic. If you guys have been watching the stories, there has been a rash of, discrimination, according to some of these mothers, that's going on in Sesame Land, or whatever you call it. And before we get started with that, real quick, I wanted to say, Michael Pan, I read your thing that you sent me, the attachment. Excellent work. Excellent work. Michael and I are going to be doing our own Black plan to get Black people on their feet. So excellent work. I did read it.
All right, so who else came on here? Extreme X, how you doing? And happy birthday, Moni. I know it's still your birthday month. You got a couple of days left, so we'll wish you happy birthday until August 1st, I guess. Aaron, what's going on with you? And Brother Reggie, how you doing? Yes, please, you guys, if you could, hit the like button. I would love and appreciate you. Easy E, what's going on with you? And if I didn't already, again, Michael, how you doing? All right, so as you guys may or may not know, Sesame Place, which is, I guess, located in Pennsylvania, they've been having some issues. Now, specifically, Black parents have accused some of the Sesame Street characters, specifically that of Rosita. You guys probably saw the video of, I guess it was a sister who took a video of her Black daughters. They were trying to give Rosita, the Sesame Street character, a hug or say hi to her, whatever they're trying to do. And the character appeared to motion no, like, nah, I ain't finna try to be hugged, y'all, whatever the case is, right? So some people says, well, Sesame Street says, the character said, no, it wasn't that. It's just that everybody was wanting me to take pictures with their babies, and I was motioning no. Okay, sounds plausible, right? Yes. So shortly after that, a lot of other videos started to come out of, other Black parents saying, wait a minute, well, here's my video of my child trying to give the character or whatever it was a hug. And, they said no. And then in one case I saw, I don't know which Sesame Street character was, but it actually bumped into the little girl, like aggressively, right? And knocked her over. On the African Diaspora News Channel, I did a story where it wasn't a character per se, but it was a white man that somehow got off into one of the play areas. And the Black mother said that the white man, stepped all on her child. And as you can see on his knee, it was the guy's shoe print. And the little boy had a mark on his forehead where he got roughed up by the white dude. So Sesame Place has a lot of issues. All right. Who else came on here? Damon, Jafia, Angela, how you doing? Sunlight, what's going on with you? Okay, and so here's where the Congressional Black Caucus comes into play right there. They got something to say. And so they didn't like all the things that I had just said, right? And so this is what they said. Sesame Street is one of the nation's highest rated TV shows that at one time more than 95% of all American preschoolers watched. The Black Congressional Caucus said, per The Hill, so naturally Sesame Place should be where all children can go to have fun and celebrate. Sadly, that has not been the case. The CBC added the show reaches young children in all demographics with a particular impact on economically disadvantaged children and families of color. Families of color should know that they will be welcomed at any institution that carries the Sesame Street name. All right. So that came from the Congressional Black Caucus. And so when I saw that, I was like, out of all the things that are pressing Black America, because y'all know the Congressional Black Caucus, they about everybody. They're the only caucus that in their mission statement says that they are for Black people and other marginalized communities. That's the word that they use. But the other caucuses, they are for their people and their people only, right? So I'm like, Black people got a whole lot of issues that we need to be concerned with other than people being able to take their children to Sesame damn Street. Which is why I said S is for symbolism. Any of y'all who've watched Sesame Street, you know, they will say, you know, A is for apple, B is for boy. Well, S is for symbolism, because that's what this is. It's symbolism. They know we in Black America are wired to get all fuzzy inside when we see somebody or entity like the Congressional Black Caucus. They gonna go stick it to Sesame Street, right? They gonna let them suckers, S is for suckers, they gonna let those suckers in Sesame Street know we ain't putting up with it. And I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if y'all put all that energy and bigger behind, you know, police brutality and things like that? Because, you know, when the Congressional Black Caucus first came into play, which actually was 1969, it was the Democratic something committee. It was something before it was a CBC, and they were interested in investigating the murders of Black Panther members and things like that, right? And so, of course, y'all see now they've transitioned to going to kick Sesame Street's ass. But we've got a lot of other things to be worried about. But more importantly, and I know y'all understand this, and we're all pretty much smart enough to know this, Congressional Black Caucus don't give a damn about Sesame Street either. They're just jumping on the hottest ticket because, as you guys also know, it is midterms season, if you will, election season. Midterms are coming up. And they had all of these other issues. You had the abortion issue, and that was supposed to skyrocket the Democrats back into prominence because, you know, a lot of them are in danger of losing their seats and ultimately flipping the Senate red and then maybe the House red, right? Losing a lot of other seats throughout the country. And so the Congressional Black Caucus know that Black people in general, we like symbolism. We like fish fries, chucks and pearls, and, you know, white dudes playing saxophones, talking about he was the first Black president. And, you know, of course, Roland Martin teaching Hillary how to do the wobble and all that. So they know that kind of stuff gets us all excited. And so, again, they don't care about Sesame Street either. It's just another move to say, hey, Negroes, we know your children are getting beat up in Sesame Street, and we're going to go talk to who is the head of Sesame Street? Is it Big Bird? Is it Elmo? Is it, you know, who is it? The Cookie Monster? Who exactly is the head of Sesame Street, right? So
the Count.
Yes, somebody like who they gonna talk to? You know what I mean? So let's have this conversation. And I want to talk about anything else y'all want to talk about today. I know there's a lot of things going on, but I just kind of wanted to start off with this. But ultimately, parents, you know, my daughter's, she's 29.
Deanna still goes to Sesame Place. She'll go.
I'm not going to take her to Sesame Street. But parents, if you're looking to take your child somewhere, take them somewhere where they are going to be welcome. Obviously, Sesame Street has some issues with Black children. Stop begging them white folks to treat your children nicely. You're going to pay, and you're going to beg for them to treat your children nicely. I want to ask, if you're trying to take your child to Sesame Place, what in the hell is wrong with you? Donovan?
Right on. That you make some good points. And wasn't that one of the first things that I said when we talked about this topic? Why are they continually going there? I think there was a problem with Elmo a few years ago. Elmo was doing some salacious stuff. But in the comments on YouTube, I put in there, so much for the Black and Brown coalition. So I'm thinking Rosita, the monster, is of Hispanic origin, right? So if she's of Hispanic origin, what did the president of LULAC said? I don't want nothing to do with these black folks. So whoever this Rosita monster is, she's just doing what they openly told you that they were going to do. We don't want nothing to do with black people. There is no such thing as a black and brown coalition. Folks, we have no friends out there. When are you guys going to get this through your head? But yet, $1.7 trillion goes through the black community every year, and there is not a black theme park that we can take our children to. Here in California, where I live, right in Paris, there is a historical black railroad society or something, or museum or something that's going on. And I went there years ago. But why are we always giving our money to these other groups? You've heard about it. When are you going to stop? There's always going to be that one that's going to be like, well, not me. So now all of a sudden, your child is being brutalized at an amusement park, and the CBC comes in like the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They're coming in there, right? To do what? Like you said, it's midterm season. They want to show you guys when it's time to vote. We gave you the Crown Act. We gave you Juneteenth. We tried on George Floyd, and we came down on the Sesame Street characters. Ain't you Negroes happy enough? Totally ridiculous. Total waste of time.
I was laughing at this comment here. Brad, how you doing? He says Clyde will fry some fish. I think you meant go fry some fish on Sesame Street. And you can best believe people gonna show up for that fish too. So very, very funny. Damien said R's for reparations and CBC straight trash. Yes, indeed. I like that. R for reparations. All right, so I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. I'm interested to see what you have to say. And Angela, you said any black parents with Sesame Place tickets should request a refund. I totally agree. And Jay Bubba, how you doing? Says, hell, ever since I was a kid and saw Bert and Ernie taking bubble baths and sharing a bed, I won't ever let my kids around Sesame Street. Yeah, I saw some verbiage that Bert and Ernie may have not just been friends. You know, I don't know. And let's see here. And Kimmy, you're talking to Donovan. So I don't read the replies on Sunlight. Says the CBC got to defend Rosita. Don't get it twisted, laugh out loud, right? Because, you know, there's that black and brown coalition, right? So Rosita, she, you know. Al, how you doing? Since I was recently asked who was my favorite Sesame Street character, I said the vampire. They said he doesn't count, but I assure you he does. Right, because that's the count, right? That is funny. And Jafar said CBC is...
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I might think about this. I'm very sure that the same stuff happens at Disneyland, and we don't say a word. We just don't say a word. You want your kid to take a picture with the character's got to keep moving. I mean, I just don't get it how we're so selective in what we're going to fight. You're going to fight the Sesame Street characters when you damn well know the same shit goes on at Disneyland. Same thing goes on at Knott's Berry Farm. The same thing goes on at SeaWorld. You know it happens. We are not wanted here. That's why when you see, have you guys ever noticed that whenever you see a space movie, the most of the cast is all white, and then that one black person might survive till the end. They don't expect us to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me see here. Jay Bubby says, don't forget to ask strippers telling us to vote. Absolutely. Just wait for it. We're going to probably see a whole lot of that twerking senators and stuff. It's like, okay. Pioneer says, I heard Sesame Street has been gentrified. I like it. Keep the jokes coming. Pretty funny. Brother Samuel, how you doing? He said, S is also for safe. It's a safe issue for them that they have massive permission to protest. Just a nation of beggars. If they, I think 400 years of enemies. Absolutely. It is very safe. Right now, everybody's kind of up in arms about it, kind of, sort of. And so, like I said, it's safe. Y'all ain't going to ruffle too many feathers unless it's Big Bird's, right? You want to go talk to Big Bird and say, what the hell, man or woman? What is Big Bird, a man or a woman? Who knows? It's non-binary. I don't know. Big Bird, what's going on? So they, like you said, they know that's not going to really do too much. And Damon says the head is Big Whitey, right? But is he wearing a mask though, right? Is he actually out there at the Sesame Street parade? Jafar says Sesame Street is where black children actually lose the fight. Okay. And Bogani, how you doing? Bragg says, hopefully Big Bird will kick Clyburn in the ass. Maybe it is Clyburn under there. I don't know. Manola, how you doing? He says all about to be over soon. Hope y'all ready. You keep warning us. We taking notes, brother. Pioneer says I used to have a crush on Maria before she married that funny looking Lewis. You crazy. Yes, Jafia Rosita, I guess, is Mexican. Only Pamela's way. How you doing? Jay Bubby says Sesame Street was founded by Jim Henson and other white homosexual women that wanted to get to children, brother Riza Islam. Okay, I have to check that out. Sounds plausible because I know they're trying to say that Elmo, the guy that was puppeteering Elmo, had some issues with, touching the kids other than Tickle Me Elmo. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Super Patriot, how you doing? It says Sesame Place. What the hell is that? You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the first time I heard of it too within the last couple of weeks. I didn't even know Sesame Street had an amusement park. So I guess that's what it is, like an amusement park for parents and to take their kids.
Yeah, there's one in San Diego down here, which surprised me. I didn't even know that we had one down there.
Mm-hmm. Angela, I would to a black theme park. What would we call it? I have some names, but I don't think I could say it on here.
Negro people.
Kimmy says, curious what race was the employee was. They didn't say what it was, but
they know who the person was. Because look, that's the perfect. If I'm an employer, hire me a few illegals, put them in that mask. Nobody got to see them, and I can pay them under the table. We know who that was. Come on.
Yeah, because it had been a black employee, I'm sure they would have said it, had him out there front and center talking about, I was not racist. Absolutely, Moni and Ali says Oscar the Grouch was recently kicked off of Sesame Street. Apparently, he was doing a lot of trash talking. Keep him coming.
Yeah.
And Michael says, Demetri, I understand what you have been busy reporting the news. Did you get a chance to read my updated Black Agenda report? You sent it to me was a couple of weeks ago. I did look at it then, but it was the updated one. I have not seen that one yet, but I did. You sent me something the other day, and I think I responded to, right? And Pamela's Way says the CBC ain't gonna do exactly nothing. Yes, and Brother Salmon says I saw a video on Facebook that says Sesame Street was founded by blacks. If so, we must have sold out like we did BET. Yeah, very interesting. I have no intel about Sesame Street at all, other than I used to watch it as a child, and my daughter used to watch it, but that's really about it.
Okay, I got.
Donovan froze up, I think, a little bit. He'll be back. Donovan, if you can hear me, you're frozen. We can't hear you at all. So I'm going to keep going until you come back. And DJ Charisma, how you doing? Says, hey, Aunt Demetra and Uncle Donovan, I love you. I love you too. He says, yesterday was my 25th birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. And you say, and I'm from Philadelphia area, and I live 15 minutes away. They are racist to black employees too. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get why work there. I mean, I get it. You need money and stuff, but man, Michael, so you're talking to Kimmy, and let's see here. Pioneer says, even at the time, I was wondering what was up with Bert and Ernie. Laugh out loud. Super Patriot says, I love Bert and Ernie. Yeah, that was Donovan's feed. He'll listen to me one day when I say, plug your computer directly into the modem. One of these days, he's going to listen to me. Let's see, Super Patriot, he says, my favorite's Count Dracula. And Moni says, it really doesn't matter one way or another who is saying what to who, and all parents throughout various states where the Sesame Street characters are coming from are known to be both white, Hispanic, a few others. Okay, well, good to know. Like I said, I don't know nothing about Sesame Street. Damien says, don't start with Disney. That trash was straight racist. Yeah, I haven't been to Disney since my daughter was 3. That was 26 years ago. And it's the last time I've been there. And let's see, I'm going to skip to some other people who just came on here so I won't get too far behind. Andre, how you doing? It says 1.7 trillion economy and 10% goes to every church on the corner, correct? Yeah, you're probably right, because we know that we give 97% of, I think it's actually $1.3 trillion away. So yeah, 10% probably does go to every church, or, black churches, if you will, whatever church you go to. Killmonger, my hero, how you doing? Says FBA, black first. And Kimmy says, haha, another pun. Thanks, Demetri. I don't mean to do it, or just do. Thunder says, not going to lie. I away. And I think maybe a comment cut off. Michael says, I understand why African Americans don't want to create their own theme parks because they are concerned that they lack capital resources, community economics, etc. Yeah, and that all those things are true. It takes money, right, to run an amusement park, and anybody who's ever even bought a ticket to like Magic Mountain or Disneyland, it's like part of your mortgage, right, to get in. And Damon says they don't give a F. Moni, so you're talking to Moni. And Al says, Ernie, do you want some ice cream? Sure, Bert. Now I got that one. That's funny. Hey, brother Jonell, how you doing? Big Guy Customs, how you doing? He says, was the Sesame Street supposedly set in Harlem? I don't know, so I don't want to lie. I mean, now if you look at the scenery and stuff, yeah, that's plausible that it was set in Harlem. I could believe that it was. Let's see. And Jay Bubba says, yeah, Elmo probably needs a search warrant for his computer. And Extreme X said, call it Soul Park. Okay. I like that name. The Pioneers of Sesame Street was someone in New York, but I'm somewhere in New York, I think, but I'm not sure which neighborhood. So it sounds like it was Harlem. And Andre says Super Soul Circus. Oh, yeah. And I've been to the Super Soul Circus. It's pretty cool. I think I've been like twice. And you say annually comes to Memphis in the summer. Come on down. Yeah, it actually was in Los Angeles, and that's where I took my daughter, and I think my mom went as well. And we enjoyed the Super Soul Circus. It was really cool. It's been around for a long time. So, yeah, that's another good thing. Jafai says the Elmo guy was gay and supposedly had a relationship with an underage male. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. But wasn't the Elmo puppeteer, whatever it was, wasn't he a brother, if I'm not mistaken? Thunder says, I'm not going to lie. I always did have a crush on Maria Borica. Okay. Kimmy says, laugh my ass off. Y'all got to stop with the puns. I'm going to bust a gut. We having fun today, baby. And Michael, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, I hope Jim Clyburn loses in the midterms because he is against a black agenda, cash reparations for ADOS, Medicare for all, etc. Yeah, Jim Clyburn, he's been there a very long time, and he's right now just getting his, and he really doesn't care about black people. He only cares about pleasing the establishment, the one that gives him a pat on the head, you know. And Killmonger, my hero, says, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thunder says, no tangibles, no vote. Yes, indeed. And let's see who else came on here. That Rat, how you doing? Says the CBC are jumping on the bandwagon. Don't need CBC to be paid and sold out. Yeah, that's all it is. It's a hot ticket item. And, you know, they going to act like they care, but they don't care about Sesame Street either. And Damon says Soul Circus is the shit. Went to a show downtown, down in Carson a while back. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember where it was in Los Angeles that I went, but it was a long time ago. My daughter's probably like 3. And Easy says, D and Donovan, check out Who We Are, A Chronicle of Racism in America. I saw it on Netflix. Really, really, really good. Who We Are on Netflix is really good. Donovan's back. And Michael says, Demetra, it's the updated version of Black Agenda for today. Okay, so I haven't seen that yet. Okay, let's see who else. And don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. Hello, how you doing? You still haven't told us. At least I don't think you did. Maybe you did. Maybe I forgot. What's behind the name? All right. And Darnell, how you doing? He says, I'm not surprised by this. Nope, we shouldn't be. And Al says, how many of your viewers are going to cancel Sesame Street? Let me see a show of hands.
Isn't Sesame Street public access, so you really can't cancel it? Our tax dollars pay for that.
Yeah, and it wasn't Trump supposed to, because it's on PBS, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on PBS. That was Mitt Romney.
Yeah, they were trying to take public funding from that of PBS, you know, I guess because they have more of a liberal agenda and all this other stuff. And Sesame Street was about to get the axe. And so the Pioneer says, Demetra was already, okay, it was attractive, but something happened to her when she came back from Dominican Republic. Laugh Out Loud made her even more finer. I appreciate that. And maybe it's just age, baby. I don't know what it is.
No, you're in the land of beautiful women. Some of it rubbed off.
I was already beautiful. What you I'm just playing. I'm just playing, but thank you. Brother Janelle says they fighting against Disney being biased at Sesame Place. We don't know who is in those costumes, touching on those children, and majority oblivious to the fact that Disney and places like these be the homes of child predators in costumes. We need to give our children the truth. That is very true. You don't know who's in those costumes, and clearly in some of those costumes, it's people who don't like Black children. I mean, I think we could kind of, you know, just conclude that from what we've seen so far. And Moni says, Demetra and Donovan, when we were coming up as children in the late 70s, 80s, you never seen this one looking at Big Bird, Oscar, Cookie Monster, Bert and Ernie. Now they're making them racist or over sexual. I think they probably were already that, but now we got the camera phones and, you know, people taking pictures or, you know, videos and stuff of their children trying to hug up on the characters. And so they were probably all that. Now they're just getting caught. And Thoughts of the Week podcast. How you doing? It says Sesame Place is a subsidiary of SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment, and the SeaWorld executives are pissed about what went on with the kids. Okay, I didn't know that. Good information. Brother Samuel says, when it comes to Sesame Street and the electric company, I prefer the electric company. It was more upbeat to me. Yes, that's old school. Now we telling our age, Brother Samuel. And Willie, how you doing?
Hey, you guys! Who was that?
It was somebody.
Rita Moreno. West Side Story.
Right. That is right. You know, I should have known that because I watched her documentary not too long ago. Excellent documentary, Rita Moreno. Excellent documentary.
And Willie, also Morgan Freeman was on the show.
Yes. Yep. Willie said, "What's up, Sister Demetra? Everything was going on with you. Peace and love, family is what you say." And Joanne, I hope I said that right. How you doing? So Sesame Street was initially created for Black urban children. Well, what happened? Somebody said, like, you know, BET, right? It got usurped by the colonizer. And Jafia said, yes, the Elmo guy was Black. That's what I thought. And
also had a lot of guest stars on Sesame Street, but where was one that got his early start? A very famous singer known as the Black Pavarotti, Luther Vandross. He sang the jingle of the original Sesame Street.
Interesting. Pioneer says Sesame Street was originally designed supposedly to end racism by showing a variety of characters in different colors and looks, but they portrayed the characters as monsters instead of people. And was that subliminal? I don't know. You tell me. Brother Jonell says, if Black people stop spending our money on drugs, liquor stores, smoke, and other negatives, our money could build theme parks and rec centers, plus more for our children. You better believe it. And Michael says, Demetra, what would you say to Holly Robinson Pete about Sesame Street? I don't. Was she the one that? I don't know.
Yeah, that was her father, Gordon. Gordon was her father, the black bald-headed guy. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. When we say Gordon, are we talking about the one that was up in Elmo?
No. Remember Gordon? He was like the shop owner. He was a bald-headed black guy.
Oh yeah.
That was right. That was her father. That was her father.
Got it. I don't know, Michael. I have to think about that. DJ Charisma says, yes, the guy who played Elmo was Black. His name was Kevin Klosh. Okay. Momo Monroe, how you doing? He says, I mean, even Fat Joe is talking about it. That's funny. Monet, how you doing? He says, we can own our own amusement park, start small and get bigger over time. The guy in an amusement park in my little town, I think he said the guy owns an amusement park in a little town that thinks it's grown, overcharges, in my opinion, to get into the park. Yeah, but have you seen the prices at Disneyland? It's a lot.
Yeah, in New Orleans, they had a theme park somewhere near New Orleans back in the day, and then Katrina hit and all this other stuff, and it was owned by a Black company. They got the funding to bring it back, but eventually they got bought out by Six Flags. And you know what Six Flags did with that park? They leveled it. So if you're in Louisiana, you want to go to an amusement park, the nearest one is Astro World in Dallas.
Got you. And Al says Cookie Monster's Black girlfriend left him because he didn't have a sweet tooth, where he didn't like chocolate. and Joanne, he says, Demetra, that's why they years ago they destroyed the character of the Black original with charges of abusing children. Okay, so we're talking about Elmo or somebody else. And Damon says, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let's see. We paying attention, Manolo. We ain't forgot. And Momo, the CBC is Congressional Black Caucus. Because you said, what the CBC? Or you already know, you just kind of put clowns or something like that. Thank you, Marcus Guyton. If you guys are on Facebook and you are seeing this and you want us to comment, please click on the link and write your comment. I would love to address it. And the Pioneer says, any grown man willing to put on a costume to entertain children is already questionable, in my opinion. Kind of like a man who dresses up as a clown for a living. Some things are just creepy. Laugh out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, but Pioneer, one of the coolest characters in movie cinema dressed as a clown. His name was James Bond. Octopussy. Go look it up.
J Bubba, you crazy. He said Roland Martin will be the next Sesame Street character, Rolly the Bully Bird. Yes, the Pioneer says, you said West Side Story was also a television show. I don't know if West Side Story was also a television show, but she was on the Arita Moreno was
the
on
movie.
the Electric Company before West Side Story. So yeah, she was on there. Yeah, she was on there before West Side. Was she? I think so.
Yeah, it was right around that same time era, and she got an Academy Award for it. But yeah, she was a main character on the Electric Company, but she did do some spots on Sesame Street as well.
And Michael says, Dimitri and Donovan, would you build a Black-owned Sesame Street, California, where Black people make up less than 6% of the population, Texas, etc.?
No, not with less than 6% of the population, because then we wouldn't be maximizing our money. So we would have to go where there's a large Black population. But the problem with going to where there's a large Black population, if I'm looking at it economically, I would have to invest a lot of money into the security of the park. Because we know how our people are. You just don't go in there with a little bit. I'm gonna have the security guards have shotguns, submachine guns, and grenades in case something goes down.
And let's see here. Yes, Damon, Pee-wee's Playhouse. That was I liked it. You know, let's talk about Pee-wee for just a second, shall we? Like, I like Pee-wee, and you know, Paul Rubin was his name, and you know, he got caught up back in Hollywood, where Hollywood was kind of still pretentious, if you will, and uptight. And he got caught up in a house where they was watching porn, movie theater, whatever. And, you know, they demonize him and all of that. But my thing is, yeah, I guess I can kind of see them like, oh, well, he's playing a child's character, but, you know, he ain't always Pee-wee Herman. He's a man outside of that. So I just didn't get why they tried to, you know, they demonized Paul Rubin for a very long time, and he made a comeback eventually. But it's like, first of all, he wasn't doing it in the open. He was at a, you know, where they played porno movies at in the little seedy movie theaters where nobody would know you're there unless they following you up in there. And they made a big deal about that. I was like, that is the stupidest thing. Like, why report on that? That was his off time, with minding his business, right? But yeah, I like, me and my brother Walter. And I tell you, we used to watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Oh my God, we'd be cracking.
Yeah, I like the motorcycle scene. He takes a motorcycle. Hey, dude, thanks a lot. He rides, he falls. Yes. Guess who directed that movie?
Who?
The same guy that directed Batman.
And who was that?
I just flipped my head just now. Beetlejuice, same director, Beetlejuice. Tim Burton. Tim
Burton. Yeah. Got you. And Sun Kissed by the Most High. How you doing? He says, did they fire that character on Sesame Place? I don't think they did, because they said he or she, whatever it was like, I wasn't intentionally doing it. So you know, and Eugenia, how you doing? It says Irene Cara was on Sesame Street when she was a little girl. Okay, Irene Cara of fame, if you will. And Samuel, how are you doing? It says MLK gave us the blueprint years ago. Boycott and keep your money in your pockets. Don't beg anyone to respect you or treat you nice. Absolutely. And let's see who else came on here. And Pioneer says, you remember Gordon, baldhead Gordon was with the mustache. Didn't he have a wife, or was he kicking it with another sister who was a regular on there? Don't give me the line. Honeydew, how you doing? And let's see here. I know I'm gonna say this right. Key 5, how you doing? Thank you so much. It says at work, showing you love. Y'all two stay black always, every day. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Let me see who else came on. I'm gonna skip down to the bottom just a little bit. Momo, you crazy. Talking about Maxine and her wig. Leave Maxine's wig alone. And let's see here. Androsarian, how you doing? It says, now I understand why Oscar is so upset. Right? There's a lot of BS going on over there on Sesame Street. And Mart Mason, how you doing? It says Astro World was in Houston. From what I understand, it's not there anymore. That's where Travis Scott, I guess he called his festival Astro World, where quite a few people lost their lives. So yeah. And Craig, how are you doing? It says, when will people learn they're not a space program for Black people, just like there's not an amusement park. Yeah, I mean, like somebody said, there's a circus, the Super Soul Circus, but is there a Black amusement park anywhere? I mean, I haven't heard of one. I mean, don't give me the line. Pioneer says James Bond dressed as a clown. What? All right, let's see. Cortez, how are you doing? He says, hey, Demetra and Donovan, don't forget about Bill Cosby. He was on Electric Company too. Was he really? Wow. That's what happens when you get older. You be forgetting stuff. Alice says, whatever happened to Snuffleupagus? Did someone not tell him how to get to Sesame Street? I don't know. Snuffleupagus was that big giant character, right? With the long nose and the big giant eyes. You know, it's a lot of, shut up. I was going to say, there's a lot of Snuffleupagus running around with those big giant eyelashes.
Yeah, the bat wings. You got that damn right.
Angela Destiny, how you doing? It says, please tell your kids these are just characters, make believe. Use your funds and time with your children to travel different countries and Father God's. Dang, that's a big old. Oh, that's a rat outside of my window. Oh my God.
Are you sure it's not a cat?
It's a rat. It's like a mouse.
Oh, it's a bat?
It went to the neighbor's house.
It's a bat?
It's a mouse.
Oh. Well, you are in Houston, so. Yeah, don't freak out on this show. Please don't do that.
This house is sealed, so ain't no mice getting up in here. But I was like, that's too big to be a lizard. But it went next door. So, but we do got cats around here, so maybe the cat will get it. All right, I digress. Angela, so he says, please tell your children, these are just characters, make believe. Use your funds and times with your children to travel different countries and Father God's. It's a great learning experience. Yes, indeed. Yeah, travel the world. I am 100% with you. Now I got my eye out the window, like what's really going on out there. Who else came on here? Let's see. Azriel, I know I said that wrong, but forgive me. Says Shalom family, peace and love from Detroit. Yes, indeed. And Frank, how you doing? Says CBC, we need to use them for misappropriated funds. Okay. And Tanya, how are you doing? Somebody says that Donovan, he acted like he was gonna handle that bike, rode through that sign, right through that sign. Yes. One of the funniest parts to me is when he was on the train with the hobo, and the hobo was singing all the songs, and Pee-wee was with it at first. You know, he was completely with it, and he was like, okay. And then the hobo says, Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care. And Pee-wee just dove right off the train like, I'm done. Al says, when Jim Henson died, didn't Kermit, I'm not reading that. You're going to get me in trouble here on YouTube. And Michael says, Demetra, would you be interested in owning a theme park where Donovan is your top security specialist or chief of supervisor? Nope. I don't want nothing to do with some kids and some grown-up adults. Hey, did y'all see that video? I think it was in Disney World last week where two families, they were big families, both of them, they were fighting with each other. And I mean, it was going bananas. I was like, that is crazy. So no, I wouldn't be interested in partaking in nothing like that. Thoughts of the week, it says Pee-wee had his own playhouse. Exactly. The grown man playhouse. And let's see, Brother Jonell says, that old Catch-22, they serve the porno and condom for you to watch. They serve the gun, the drinks, the drugs, etc. Condemn you for using stop serving and promoting the demand for trash to the masses of the people, serving them garbage to only tax them for the using. Now that's pimping. Absolutely. And Cortez says they are building a storytelling theme park here in Nashville, Tennessee. Is being built by a Black couple. Okay, cool. See, go there. And Kimmy says, I think James was in New Orleans when he was a clown. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm with it. And Kimmy, you busting up. Pioneer says, how big was the mouse? It was probably like that. It was big enough for me to see it, and trust me, what do you say? When you can't see far very well, you're nearsighted. I'm nearsighted, and so I seen it, and I was like, because there'd be lizards and stuff out there. I was like, damn, that's a big ass lizard. Is it like a pterodactyl? What's going on out there? And then it was a mouse, and then it went over there to the neighbors, and so maybe it came from the neighbors because they got a lot of stuff going on over there. I just don't want it to be over here. All of that, okay. And Damon, he says, Houston, we have a problem. Yes, and Thoughts of the Week podcast says it was a Muppet mouse. Okay. And Al says, James Bond dressed up as a clown and octopussy and went to the circus to stop a hydrogen bomb from exploding. Al, the James Bond aficionado, along with Donovan. Wilbur, how you doing? He says, all you need is peanut butter and a trap. Listen, as long as it don't come up in here, I'm good. If it come up in here, it can have it. I'm out. Just for real. And Brother Sammy says, you all make me think of an interesting point. In our current mental state, I can see a lot of negative Negro behavior being a part of a Black theme park. However, the Universal Circus should be a main consultant in the setup because there is an outstanding atmosphere of Black love at their shows that's unequaled. I believe in properly set up a Black theme park could be a great source of Black healing. Lastly, instead of Black saying, I'm going to Disney World after winning a championship. Yes, indeed. And you're right. Universal Soul Circus, they have obviously an excellent blueprint because they've been doing it for years. Like I said, I remember taking my daughter when she was 3 and she's almost 30. So they were there before then.
Yeah, because wasn't there like Circus Vargas and Circus used to come around and rotate annually?
Circus Vargas, Barnum and Bailey, which, they're racist. So if they ever come back, don't go there. Yes, Easy. You says I didn't know you were in the hood. I'm not in the hood. That's the crazy part. I don't live in the hood for real. But it's for real though. My neighbors, it's like a bunch of them. They live there, and when they open up their garage, I'm like, nah, I know goddamn well y'all got some creatures living up in there. And one of them happened to have his ass in my backyard right now. So I'm speaking into the universe that it stays over there. It's my backyard, by the way. Sandra, you say, how you doing? You say he looking for shade. He looking for something. I ain't got nothing. We vegans over here. Don't come over here. Pioneer says, my mice are about the same size as a lizard, if not smaller. If it's a big as a lizard, then it's probably a rat.
Well, I'm gonna say when I was in Vietnam, they had lizards over there that were size of cats. Some of them even bigger. These were some huge rats in the streets.
I don't like it. Now I'm gonna have some mental issues or something. Letitia, how you doing? Says shalom, my royal family. And Thoughts of the Week podcaster says that mouse is just asking how to get to Sesame Place. I couldn't tell you, brother. Candy B, how you doing? Brother Jonelle says, right, putting the masses on the children into straight idolatry, like they give the masses a white Jesus to worship. They give our children these false images in the name of education. Our children need truth and purity, imperiality above lies. Absolutely. And y'all laughing for real. Kimmy says, now I want to rewatch Pee-wee. Yes, I love Pee-wee Herman. Frank says, why are we not trying to get the CBC out? I'm glad you asked. That is a great great question. We need to vote them out. A lot of them have been there forever. When I say forever. I was researching a little bit about the Black Congressional Caucus. Well, it was the Democratic, I just forgot. It's the word that Democratic Select Committee is what it was. And Yvonne Brathwaite Burke, she was there then. Like with Shirley Chisholm and stuff. Now, I don't think she's active anymore. I don't think she is, but recently she was. And I'm like, damn, that's a long time for her to be involved in Congress. But that's a great question. Why don't we get them out? We can vote them out. A lot of them are up for re-election during the midterms. Vote them out. Vote somebody else in there that's going to be a little bit more progressive. Now, when I say progressive, I don't mean this fake progressive like we're seeing now, talking about the real progressive that's actually going to move the ball forward for Black people.
Right. And unfortunately, those ones that call themselves progressives aren't really progressives. How many of you guys have heard of the CPC? CPC, that's the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Guess who are members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus?
Who?
Members of the CBC.
Okay.
So they call themselves progressive, but yet you don't see any type of legislation that is progressive for Black people specifically. So if you have the same people in all these different caucuses, how much work do you think actually gets done? If the CBC doesn't stand up for us as Black people, the CPC is going to stand up? Nope. The Hispanic is going to stand up? Nope. This is going to stay. They're not going to stay. They're all in the same committees. That's why they do this. It's about power and keeping you down, because as long as you're not paying attention, which thank God a lot of us are waking up now, this is how they roll. This is the games that they play. Oh, I'm a progressive, but you have nothing on your record that shows that. The same members that are in the CBC are in the CPC.
Yes, indeed. I might take you up on that easy. If I'm praying that it don't come over here, because if it do, I'm gonna be calling you.
Wait a minute. Is that a pay for play type situation?
Hey, mind your business. Oh, Michael says, Donovan, you can do it because you have an extensive experience about using arms for protection. Do you know any Black-owned gun shops?
Are you insane in California to have a Black person own a shop? Now, there are some Black people that front as owners of a shop for the white folks, but I don't know any Black-owned shops.
I know there's some in Houston, from what I understand. Mr. Pirate Brain, how you doing? Said, buy a cat. There's a lot of cats around here. Normally,
I could send Thailand.
No, you can, but I see the cats. I'm like, get away, shoo, get away. Now I'll be like, y'all want some milk? What y'all want to eat? Al, you say Romper Room, Great Space Coaster, Electric Company, Cara Casalinda, somebody. Let me put that up there because I jacked that up.
See, now going back to the cat issue. See, this is why I tell people, if you're a homeowner and you have stray cats in your neighborhood, do not run them off. That's what they're there for. Don't feed them. You want to put some water out for them. Don't feed them, because they are going to hunt and all the rodents and stuff. That's why it's good to have cats around. So, which I don't understand, in our neighborhood, in the hood, you see all the dogs, but dogs don't hunt rats and stuff. That ain't their thing. You got to get some cats, and that'll take care of the problem, or at least keep the rodents away. Because my cats bring in birds, all kinds of stuff up in here.
I ain't got no cats, but I'm cool with the cats outside. Al says, okay, so you say Vegetable Soup, Pryor's Place, and Zoom were derivatives of Sesame Street. Yes, indeed. And Only Pamela's Way says, did Demetra say they got to have some creatures up in there? Maybe I did. And let's see, who else came on here? Godspeed, how you doing? He says, I need to be meeting about some reparations for the Black community. Well, that we all do, but definitely the CBC, but they're not doing that. They don't care. They loosely are kind of talking about a study. I think, what was it, California? Somebody was talking about a study or something like, we're over it by now, right? Finder says, a lizard that big as a Komodo dragon. Yeah, it's, I'm just going to hope that it's gone. JD Informant, how you doing? And, somebody's a Facebook user, but they're putting up the link to the show if you guys want to click on the link. Only Pamela's Way says, the only animals allowed in my house is a cat, a dog, that's it. That's all, period. You better than me. I'm just not a pet person at all. I'm one of those people, I don't like pet hair, and I know like a lot of people who have animals, and I know that y'all call them your kids, your furry family, and all that other stuff. I don't like pet hair. I just don't, because most people I know with an animal, whether it's a cat or a dog, they got pet hair everywhere. So no shade to them. I just, and then, the pet hair be in the kitchen. I was at my friend's house one day, was eating some barbecue. This was years ago. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be good, right? Sat down with my plate. I'm eating my ribs. And then I look over on my plate. It was a dog hair from her dog. And I was like,
that's why you're not supposed to examine your food. Just eat it.
F that, Kay. F that. And the dog was huge. And I'm like, I ain't going to be rude, but I ain't going to eat this food, though. I'm good. And Michael says, you need to get the CBC out because I am the man. So I am the man for elected office in the future. Okay. And Easy says, wait a minute, Donovan, were you in Vietnam? He said, were you in Vietnam?
Yes, I was in Vietnam. That's a true story. I was in Vietnam. I really was. Not the Vietnam during the war. I was only I was just born. I went back to Vietnam in 2018 to see where my dad was stationed. And I was there for 3 weeks. I mean, I saw some of the huge rats. And the reason why they have the rats is because they have like an open market, and you'll see all these people there that they make stuff right on the street. And they, and so you got all the scraps and stuff. So all these big old, I mean, huge rats running around late at night. They don't come out till late at night.
He lying. He was up in Vietnam. He was stationed in Vietnam. Donovan's really like 80. Don't let him fool you. Christ to freedom, truth freedom. How you doing? He says they can meet for that, but not reparations. And they ain't even black unless they change their Twitter profile. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're going to go stick it to Sesame Street, but nothing about something that we really want. Right. Because I saw, I guess the Congressional Black Caucus took a poll or something like that. And it said, among the issues, 57% of that Black people wanted them to talk about or go get reparations. And so they ain't listening to their own polls, right? Tanya says the people never vote them out. They wouldn't ever even get Django Clyburn out. No, they wouldn't. They like oppression, which is sad. And Michael says, Demetra, I am the real progressive, but I don't want to label myself in that kind of way. How about the Human Rights and Liberation Party for African descendants of slavery? Yeah, because you know what? Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that, while we are going after civil rights, of course, this was in the 60s, how you going to get civil rights if you don't have human rights? And so, yeah, we need to be a party that fights for human rights. I mean, hell, we still got Black people being shot down like dogs. I always say like dogs because they don't do dogs like that in America. And so that's a human rights issue when you do Black people like that and, you don't feel no way about it, right? And continue to. I actually found something very interesting. I want to talk about it today. But back in the day, the Black leaders were still talking about police officers doing this, that, and the other to Black people. And they were talking about getting rid of qualified immunity, although they didn't call it qualified immunity. But I'm like, damn, they were talking about that then and we're still talking about it now. But the crazy part about it is they were pursuing civil rights and not really human rights. So very good point.
Right. And how many of you guys know dogs and cats have more rights than you do? They are federally protected. Did you guys know that? A lot of people don't know that. Why do you think Michael Vick went to jail for 2 years? That's how much rights they have. And we can't even get protection like the dogs get.
Right, yeah, you can't do too many things to animals because you will be in trouble. Facts, not feelings. How you doing? It says peace and love, family. CBC is there to keep things just the way they are with symbolism. They are there to stop ideas like Blacks developing their own Sesame Street. Absolutely, because they talk about diversity and people of color and inclusiveness, right? So that's what they talk about a lot. So absolutely, TG Hamilton, how you doing? He says at this point we know what we're dealing with. Forget Sesame Street Park. Spend Black dollars elsewhere, period. Christ, truth, freedom. He says, matter of fact, he says, I saw no Black faces on their Twitter profile. So you talking about the CBC and Lady Yifa, I hope I said that, Lady Effa. Did I say that right? How you doing? He said, Redstone Firearms in LA. Yes, that is true. That is a Black-owned firearms dealer in Los Angeles, California. So absolutely, and welcome. And Mad Marks 1983, how you doing? It says, unfortunately, there are only 3 Black-owned gun stores in the USA. Is there one in Texas? If I'm not mistaken, I don't know why I thought there was one near Houston. And correct me if I'm wrong. And Tanya, you said Tariq was advertising a commercial of a black gun seller. I seen one day. Okay, so maybe that's the one that who was that? I'm sorry. Lady Effa was talking about Redstone Firearms. All right. Facts, not feelings. Says, you guys hear about Jay-Z starting that gun manufacturing plant to arm law-abiding Black citizens? Wait, nah, he too damn coward to think on that level. So you was lying to kick it? Brother Samuel says, today's cats are genetically modified today that some now run from the rats. Well, I don't want these to be running from no rats. I want them to go at a full speed ahead. You know what I'm saying? Al says, Kids Incorporated gave Sesame Street some competition. Yes or no? I think they were geared more toward older kids, if I'm not mistaken. Was that what Kids Incorporated? To me, I don't know why I kind of get
wait, Kids Incorporated, isn't that the musical thing? Wasn't that the musical thing with Martika like was a member?
Something like that. Yeah. I thought they were for older kids.
Yeah. But did that teach you anything really?
Listen, I'm 51 years old. I don't remember what I learned yesterday.
Okay. I remember the show that was for older kids. It was called The New Zoo Review. So if you were like between 3rd grade and 5th grade, with the green frog, Freddie the Frog. How many of you guys remember that guy?
Mm-hmm. Jeremy has awakened. How you doing? Says, hey fam, my dogs kill rats, cats, and possums. Ooh, we need all of that over here. That is crazy. And Brother Samuel says their nature is being reversed. I sure hate it. Damon, he says, what about weave hair? What about weave hair? Do tell. Sandra Day says, I don't believe in animals in the house, period. Yeah, I'm not saying those. Are you saying weave hair in the house, Damon? I'm just one of those people. I don't like animals in the house, just not my thing. And TG Hamilton says, we have a zoo, fish, a dog, 4 lizards, and snakes. Says, if I had my way, I'd have a farm. But you said snakes, though. Ooh. Sherry, how you doing? Says, I guess you won't be eating at Donovan's house. Donovan, ever eaten at your house before?
Yeah, you been at my house before. But the thing is, I'm a bachelor, so I rarely cook. I usually go out.
So. Yeah, so that but I would say this though. Donovan's house. Donovan has 3 cats. You got 3 cats and a dog, because I don't know, you might have picked up some more cats. I don't know.
3 cats and a dog.
3 cats and a dog, and Donovan's house is immaculate. It's strange for a man, but then Donovan's been in the military, so he's very precise and neat. He's cleaning out. I say 80% of the time that I've gone over to Donovan's house, he's either vacuuming or he's wiping something down, or he just got through installing something. So he's always taking care of the house. So that I will say about Donovan. He unless you saw the animals, you really wouldn't know he had them. So.
Yeah, and another thing is when you have cats, a lot of people have cats and they have litter boxes in their house. I got a pet door, so my cats go out of the house to go use the bath, take care of their business. So you don't have that in there. But because I've got animals, I have to vacuum almost every day. So.
Yes, indeed. I will say that. And Jan Michael, how you doing? It says gun shops, we need arms manufacturers. Yes, indeed. Who else came on here? And Jeremy says, my fur babies. Yep, that's what y'all be calling them too, fur babies. Live outside. I don't eat at anyone's house who keeps animals in the house. My dogs make it to the washroom when temperatures are freezing. So you keep your dogs outside. Okay, yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't want to shame anybody who has animals in the house. I'm not an animal person. I wouldn't have them outside either.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this, and God bless anybody that does what they want to do. But something about having a chain around a dog or an animal that is naturally supposed to walk and be free it doesn't make sense to me, because how do they feel they're restricted? And I don't understand this. You got a backyard and you restrict the dog anyway on a chain. Why can't the dog just do what he's supposed to do? Or get off your ass and train the dog so that it will be a certain way. Like I said, my Belle, she's trained. She knows what to do, what not to do, and she keeps it to herself. And just something about that, because it's not natural for a animal, because we're animals too, to be chained. So when
Dick Gregory said actually owning animals is akin to or not as bad as slavery, but he said it's like slavery. He says because that's what they did to Black people in slavery. He says, but then we turn around and do it to animals. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think of that. Al says Cookie Monster knows all about Vietnam. When he eats that, the noise he makes, nom nom nom. Cute. Jay the Informant says, does his brother have a channel? Yes, he does. And if you go to the description box, I have put the link to Donovan's channel in the description box. So yes, please go and follow Donovan.
Yeah, I'm a lot angrier on my channel than Dimitri, than her channel.
Right. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Tanya. Jafia says, you can't trust a person with a house full of cats. These cat ladies are evil as hell. Pioneer says, the question is, who are we asking for human or civil rights from? White folks aren't going to give you your rights. You have to take them like most other successful people have done. I mean, I totally agree with you, but, we are still under the premise that some fairy god, civil rights godfather or godmother, fairy, somebody going to drop out of the sky and eventually give it to us. But you're absolutely right. We could take it by several ways. It doesn't always have to be violence. It can be by withholding our money, and it can also be by withholding our vote until we get something for it, right? Frank says civil rights is only for discrimination. It's about human rights all day long. And Facts Not Feeling says to shoot a black person like that is a war crime in broad daylight, and blacks need to keep records of names, addresses, pictures of these cops for future prosecution when this white supremacist government crumbles. Yes, indeed. And Dusty Hotep, how you doing? He says, we gonna go off on Grover, beat up Burton Ernie, snuff our snuffleupagus, bash Big Bird, and wring Rosita's neck. You crazy. And Eddie, how you doing? Says exactly, boycott Sesame Street. Yep. And Pamela's Way says the CBC Congressional Caucus can go fly a kite. That's old school right there. That was a nice way of saying F off, go fly a kite. And Jeremy Has Awakened says we don't have the same rights as animals because we can yell right. And Chalk Chick, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says Redstone Firearms is located in Burbank, California. And Michael says, Donovan, how about $10 to $80 to chip in? So I think y'all having a conversation about something else. And yeah, how are you doing? It says, good evening. The people of America have spoken, but black people are not listening. We are in an undesirable nation. It's time to separate from the system of oppression and live in our true calling as rulers of the earth. I love it. Easy says the problem with black gun stores, they lack the inventory. Hint, they don't have the money to stock weapons, and they are not NRA endorsed. And that is a problem right there. You know who the NRA is about. And TG Hamilton says, it's the new Zoo Review coming right at you. I love that show. Yes, that's another one. And Elton, how you doing? It says, greetings. Glad to have been introduced to your broadcast. Keep up the great job. Hashtag cut the check. And I am glad that you are here. And yes, indeed, cut the check. Give us our reparations, right? Tanya, so you're talking to Donovan. And Easy says, NRA controls the movement of weapons on the retail market. Yes, indeed. And Michael says, Donovan and Demetra, both of you need to run for office in the future. Both of you can defeat Jim Clyburn and get the older baby boomers, African American 70 years and above, out of office. Yeah. I had a few people ask me if I'd run for office. I won't say 100% no. I just don't see myself doing that. And I don't really see, as things are going now, people are really voting for me because I'm not one of those people that's going to be, able to fake it to make it type of thing. I mean, I'd be nice, but I'm not going to, just tell people what they want to hear type of thing. And so I think I would be more effective doing this or being in the background a little bit more on the ground game, if you will. And V, how you doing? He says, don't fall for the okie doke. I think it says the CBC don't give a damn about black people, obviously. That part called on their bootlick tools, aka CBC, to have them call off the dogs. So the CBC out here to tell your comment cut off. But you're absolutely right. They don't care about Sesame Street, but it's appearance stuff, and they know that's what black people care about now. Some damn Sesame Street, opposed to all the other things that we got going on in Black America. And so they like I can't remember who it was, so forgive me to said it. Said it's not really was it Brother Samuel? Was it you who said it? That is safe. Yeah, it was you. You said S for safe. It's safe for them to do that. They're not gonna really ruffle any feathers. So good point. And who else? V, you also say to tell you. He said Abe's yo, back off, Rosita. Oh, he says back off, Rosita. Don't trust them. CBC looking out for Sesame Street, not black children. Absolutely. And Pamela's Way says, if you have animals in the house, you have to be really clean. And the animals in my house are not allowed in my kitchen, period. A lot of people aren't clean. Pets are a lot of work. Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos where cats are walking on the counter and they putting their tail in the casserole that Karen was making for the company potluck. And I was like, nah, hell to the no. That's okay, V. I understand. We all have typos. Sandra J says, like they had us in chains. Yes, indeed. And Letitia says, Holly Robinson, Pete, our father was original. Exactly. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know that. And Damien says, and the nail salons. And Shirley, how you doing? Says, America has made ADOS people a bottom caste, so not surprising what they will do to us. And Easy says, yeah, Donovan, that pet hair will make you spend some money on your vacuum cleaner. That hair will burn up a vacuum motor. Tiny says, I don't go to those rat, dog, cat, pigeon. I'm going to leave that with the comment. You're crazy. Chalk Chick, he says, I do my own pedicures and manicures now. Yeah, same here. Y'all see I got different colors. It's blended in with my green screen. But yeah, I do the same. Oh, Beverly. Oh, wait, okay, hold on. Put this up here. About a year or so ago, I had an auction going on for Donovan. Okay. I am auctioning Donovan off to the lady who wants to spend the most. Now, the last time we had this auction going, y'all remind me, ladies, it was about $5.82. I think that's what we had for Donovan. So if you can beat $5.82, he is all yours. Okay. Now, I don't make any guarantees that he's gonna act right. I'm just saying. So we can start the bidding over if y'all want. And Richard, how are you doing? It says, no matter what you do, people are still going to complain. Yes, the nature of humans to complain. You're absolutely right. How you doing, by the way? Jeremy says, animals were outside before we got them. So are they trapped in a fenced yard or four walls of a house?
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? And I'm not trying to talk about anybody in particular. You could go to some people's house, and it's worse than what a dog or a cat would do.
I don't know. Brother Simon says, Peter has a powerful lobby to protect animals. What lobby do we have to protect us? You better preach. You mess around and do something the CBC don't like, and not the CBC, Peter, it's a wrap, right? They was throwing red paint on people's fur coats and all kind of stuff because, fur comes from animals and all of that. It's crazy. And Charles, how you doing? Yes, please, y'all hit the like button. I would love and appreciate you. Double A, how you doing? Says, we have to fight for any and everything that's for us. Real power is taken. Absolutely. And regarding the baby boomers, I love them. My dad is a baby boomer. But a lot of those people still there are of the silent generation, which is before those baby boomers. And I'm going to be nice because I don't want to come off as morbid. My mom used to say I was kind of morbid sometimes. I don't want to be morbid. But in due time, they will get up, whether they're voted out or the good
carried
Lord.
Out.
I was trying to be nice. I'm saying,
and if you think about it, in recent times, our servants have been carried out of the rotunda. They've been carried out of there. They will not let go. It's pathetic. It's that. And then after all those years, when people realize, damn, I live in a shithole, and this guy's the one that did it to me, or this woman's the one that did it to me, that's when they realize, man, this person didn't do nothing but enrich themselves. We are literally carrying out these elected servants.
I didn't want to say it, but somehow I knew Donovan would fill in the blanks. Thank you. Pioneer says, Demetri, I think you'd be an excellent politician. I think you'd be far more effective than the clowns we have in office right now. I'll take your word for it. And Damien says, get on city council, Miss K. I'll take your word for it. But you know where I'm at with it now. And I agree with Donovan. And we said this quite a bit. It's our children's age now. It's our children's time to be on these city councils and Congress and all that. Because I'm 51, right? Like, I should be on my way out by now. I shouldn't be on my way in. Our generation should be passing the torch. But because the baby boomers and the silent generation, folks, they sat in those seats for so long, it's passed us up. And like I said, it should be my daughter's, generation. And so I get it, but out of selfishness, I don't think that I would want to do that. Now, I wouldn't mind, like, I don't know. I just think that we should be passing the torch. What do y'all think? And let's see here. Who else came on here? Don Graham. How you doing? He says, more like Sundown Street. And the sheriffess, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, Black Theme Park can be called African Village. I like that. But you know what? Some people have a problem with that, but I like it. Old School. How you doing? It says, Surplus Army. I hope I said that right, is a Black-owned and made gun manufacturing in Chester, Pennsylvania. Okay, because somebody said there's only 3 in the country. So what's the other one? And Angela, if I didn't already say hello to you, he says, once most of these elected leaders get in office, they go along with the political games and white supremacy. They are just happy with large paychecks. Yep, the little white envelope gets slid to them, and they're like, what was I saying before I got elected? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because in the House of Representatives, they have to run every 2 years. So they spend more than 50% of their time raising money to run. Now, before John Lewis passed away, he could barely raise any money. But then when recently, when he was speaking for the Mexicans and the Dreamers and stuff, his donation cap went skyrocketing within, like, he garnered like $6 million at his highest point to run for Congress. And we ended up carrying him out. And that's what most of these people do. That's why it's easy for Nancy Pelosi, who is the biggest fundraiser in Congress, to slap these people down and tell them to get in line, because they don't have the money to run against the machine, basically.
Yes, indeed. Facts, not feelings. You say when the Ukrainians try to do to Russians what whites and U.S. are doing to blacks, the Russians said, F that, no march and sing, we shall overcome. They armed, declared independence, and defended themselves. Yes, indeed, easy. It says, D, that rat has made it to your house for real. I'm glad it's over there. I mean, I'm not glad you got it, but I'm glad it ain't over here. And let's see. Jafai says, one of Black America's biggest issues is that they allow any and everybody in their space. And a lot of us actually believe that those people care. We have no allies. People wake up. Yes, indeed. And, you know, the funny thing about it is when the Congressional Black Caucus first got, established, not the Democratic, I keep forgetting the word, what they were before. Their motto was, Black people have no friends. Black people have no enemies. Just I forget the other part, but they basically said we don't have no friends or enemies, just interest or something like that, that we want to try to get taken care of or something. Absolutely. And Tanya says, yep, so too, Donovan carried out. Al says a Black amusement park, it wouldn't open on time. Half the rides wouldn't work. Tickets would be overpriced and not enough food. The dress code is bonnets and baggy pants. So you know what?
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Where is the lie?
I might as well call it Walmart, right? I mean, I don't know. Funny. Michael says, Demetri, how about being a campaign advisor for a human rights and libertarian party candidate? I could do that. I don't know if I want to be a campaign manager, but I would like to work more on the public relations part of it. Like, shut your mouth. Don't say that.
You want to be the communications person?
No, not necessarily. I would want to, I don't use this word, but coach. I don't want to use train. I would rather coach the candidate, because to me, that's where it's won and lost with the candidate, what they do, what they say, and if you want to tweet something, call me. Let's talk about it before you just tweeting stuff and things that you say, because that's what I do anyway. I'm a public relations professional, and I help people verbally and visually to be more appealing to their audiences. So I would rather work on that end and coaching them to be more appealing, and that they don't flub things and have gaffes, and they're well-rounded and their message is well received, because I think that's really what's important. Of course, the campaign, you need to have a mean ground game. I can do those things, but I don't know. We'll see. Pioneer says a lot of these young people today can't even figure out what sex they are. They don't know if they're a man or a woman. Laugh out loud. Many of these young people are just plain confused. Some of them say they don't feel confused. They know exactly what's going on. And Chalk Chick, he says, politics is not going to help our situation. How has that been going? Divine intervention by the Most High is the only thing that will get us out of it. A lot of people, when they hear stuff like that, they're like, oh, yeah, sure. It sounds like some hocus pocus kind of stuff. But if you follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's been saying for years, watch the weather. Watch the weather. We're having funny weather all over the place. And he's basically saying, that is God's way of getting America right, or punishing the oppressor for what they have done to us. And so I agree with you. It is going to take an act of God, and we see God working even as we speak to bring some justice to Black people in America. But the Bible also says faith without the works is dead. So we also have to do our part. Fat Son, how you doing? And let's see here. Common interest. Yes, there you go, Pioneer. I just lose my mind. Elton, he says, my favorite character was the count, because counting numbers and counting money went hand in hand. You better talk about it. And Tanya says, Demetri, that rat, you seen was trying to get away from the y'all. See, y'all wilding, y'all wilding, and Don, you laughing. Pioneer says no common something, just common interest. Yeah, that's what it was. Kiki, how you doing? Says, hey, beautiful people. The only space on this blue app I find some level of sanity. Laugh out loud. I love it here. Thanks, Marcus, for the tag. Yes, indeed. I know that you've been off of Facebook for some time for mental health reasons. And, I don't blame you. I'm not on Facebook a lot. The only time I'm really on there, or Twitter, or any other spaces, is because I have to work and find stories and things like that. So I know a lot of times you guys send me messages. Not that I don't see them. It's just that I'm not on there because I do try to appeal away from social media so I can look outside and see the rats in my neighborhood, Anais, how you doing? It says we need to separate from them. And the sheriff says Sesame Street has so many guest stars that were Black. I wonder how many of them experienced discrimination that wasn't shown on the screen. I'm sure now we'll see some exposés coming out. Oh, let me tell you about Big Bird. Big Bird called me the N-word one,
Well, you know what? I kind of doubt that, because remember, our parents who were baby boomers marched with the white liberal. They marched with the white liberal, so they're all good. Look at the churches. When you see Hillary Clinton all buddy with Sheila Jackson Lee and all these folks, oh, sister girl, they're doing all the sister girl thing. The problem is the younger people are more racist than their parents were. Now, the parents ain't gonna let you come and chill at the house, but it's the younger people. But they marched with those other people under those vows. But as we know, the lying liberal is the most dangerous to the Black community.
Yes, indeed. Javier says, beware of outsiders in your space asking a barrage of questions. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but a lot of our most respected leaders, if you will, also agreed that outsiders per se should and can be allies to the Black community. So, and Anais, oh wait, no, let me go back. Manolo, he says, oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. I believe you. Jay, the informant, says, question, did you guys hear about the brother Jamal Green running out of Chicago for mayor against Lightfoot? He was interviewed by Omar and he called Lightfoot out for not caring. No, I haven't heard that, but I'm interested in Chicago politics. We know Lori Lightfoot. She's just like that of Mayor Adams in New York. They go under the premise of I'm Black, this, that, and the other. But then once they get in there, like almost immediately, right? They get in there and start doing the bidding of white supremacy. Laquan McDonald, was murdered in Chicago. And right when Lori Lightfoot got into office, I think that's kind of right when it happened, or she got in shortly after, she basically started playing ball with the police, right? And a whole host of other things. And, Mayor Adams in New York, he's just... He didn't even wait long enough to dupe Black people, right? He talking about bringing back plainclothes police officers, the ones that murdered Eric Gardner, and we got to get tough on crime, and that what that means is being tough on Black people. So, yeah, Chicago does need a new mayor and somebody who is actually going to be conducive for Black people. And Aisha says Bert smacked that girl, disrespectful. And Pioneer says, Queen, has any earthquakes or hurricanes come to ease this racism yet? Should Black people sit around waiting for a natural disaster to right the wrong in this world, or should we go to work? Well, if you really think about the entity of Mother Nature or God, we don't have control of that unless you work for the HART program. Some people say that the government is controlling the weather. I don't know. It could be. So we don't have really any direct control over that. But no, I agree with you. We should be doing something too. God asked us to do something. And, we are asked to do for self, just to be more specific. And so God is going to do what he said he was going to do. He's going to do his job, and we need to do ours, right? But no, we shouldn't wait for any of that. So Brother Samuel says, Demetra, when you change the topic, what do you think of? Okay, yeah, we can change the topic. Says, what do you think? What do you think of Bishop T.D. Jakes coming out of his safe zone to point out how there is a fad to train women to be masculine? By the way, and just ordered Minister Nuri's book, Well Made Man. What are your thoughts on it? So yes, I have the book, and I think it's very well written. I will say this about the book. It's not as an easy read as the rest of his books, but it's a good read because he includes biblical scriptures and, you know, a whole bunch of other things to just really back up what he is saying. But I like the book. He wrote it for men, but he said women should read it too, so you can know what to look for, right? But I like the book. Okay, now back to Bishop T.D. Jakes' statement. And let me see, do I have it here? Because I want to read it to y'all so I don't mess it up. Maybe I think I probably deleted it by now. Ugh. But basically, for lack of better words, he says that we are raising women to be too masculine. He says, you know, you come home talking about your job, your money, your car. He says, we don't care about that. Basically, it's hard for us to pour into you if you got it all together. And he says, you know, the sisters are mean, nasty, rude, and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, Bishop T.D. Jakes is taking a little heat from the sisterhood, if you will. I didn't, and y'all don't get mad at me. I mean, I was asked, so I'm gonna speak my truth. I don't have a problem with what T.D. Jakes said, because I just being a black woman, I say it all the time, and I hate to say it, but nobody hates a black woman like a black woman. We are rude, mean, and nasty, and you know, especially to each other. Nah. I mean, we are. I mean, we just are, and that's a culture that we need to change. And I'm like, how is it any other day of the week, Bishop Jakes is saying what he's saying, and women are falling out, catching the Holy Ghost, and woo, he preaching the word. But the moment he holds the women to task, black women to task, he wrong. Oh, how he gonna say? But it's like, so on one hand you agree with him, but then when he talking about you disagree with him. Well, he's not the only one. He's in good company. Shahrazad Ali, she was saying it for years about black women. She says the black woman has not been able to be held accountable. She has not been examined. He can't say nothing to her. Ayala, part of the reason why she tapped out of the game, she says black women are out of order. There's nothing I can do. I don't know what else to do. And she said sort of the same thing that T.D. Jakes said, and a whole host of other people. And y'all know Farrakhan, you know, has said something to sisters, and you know, he's even-handedly. And in that same sermon that T.D. Jakes gave, I guess it was on Father's Day, he was talking about the men. I guess it was talking about pouring into or whatever. So he was admonishing the men, and he said, men, you have to be worthy, and you have to be something you have to be able to pour into that woman. So basically, he was kicking the backside of men, but he brought women into the conversation, and they didn't hear any of that other stuff. They only heard him say that. And so I know some people are going to be mad, but I agree with them. And I think for him being in the church, I don't go to church. I ain't been to church in a minute, but I do know that nasty spirit amongst black women in the church, it's there. Especially a lot of the Christian women, and I'm not trying to shame the church.
Kim Burrell?
She's one of them. But a lot of the women in the church, a lot of the churches I've been to, I haven't been to many, but the churches that I've been to, a lot of the women are just nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. One time I was in the church. I like stories. I got a story for you. I was in church. I was an usher, you know, whatever. And this gentleman, now let me tell you, this man was like 80-something years old. He couldn't hardly even see. So he came and he shook my hand and he said, hello, how you doing? I have a little small talk with him. So no sooner than he go sit down. So one of the other ushers came up and said, well, you know, the pastor don't want him talking to the ladies because, you know, he be doing this, that, and the other. I said, we was just talking. We wasn't having sex. We wasn't even talking about sex. We were just talking, but you know, she was trying to admonish me like, oh, you ain't supposed to be talking to him. I'm like, mind your business, okay? So I don't disagree with T.D. Jakes. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Jeremy says, Demetra would want a job like Simone Sanders. I donate some shoulder pads. Nah.
Does she still have a show?
I don't know. I ain't finna be blocking for massa. Sorry. Sandra says, I'm 58, and I think the older folks in politics should have 2 terms. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's time for them to, you know, go on the greener pastures. I ain't talking about to the upper room, but the greener pastures, you know. Robin, how you doing? All right, so let me get down to the bottom again. I know I talk my head off. And Royal Nubian, how you doing? He says, when are we going to do our part? It's good that we can record police, etc., but we still put our trust in the system when we know it's racist as hell. Absolutely. I don't know why we're still doing that, right? Putting our trust.
Yeah, but see, but see, this is where we're going wrong. And I've been a part of the system and all kinds of recently. Here's where we go wrong. Instead of telling our kids to be doctors, lawyers, and in the sciences where all the big money is, what do we tell our kids? You could be an athlete, you could be an actor, you could be an entertainer, and that's where we steer a lot of our kids. I have a friend of mine that she became a lawyer. She works for the ACLU, no pun there. That's where she works, and a young girl, and she became a lawyer. So, but the majority of us, we get degrees in psychology, you know, degrees we can't build with and stuff like that. So that's a big problem for us too, because when you go into the legal system, the biggest problem from Black people, why we are being one of the reasons we are being mass incarcerated is the fact that we do not have good representation when we appear in court. The public defender doesn't want to be there. They're probably piss poor right out of college, don't have enough experience. And what do these district attorneys want you to do? They want you to take a plea deal. And here you are, 20-some, 30 years old. You can't afford a good lawyer. You want to get out of jail as soon as you can. So now you're just pleading and you're taking a plea deal. And then these same district attorneys will go on the campaign trail to go to Congress. What's the first thing that they say? I have a 99.6 point whatever conviction rate. Yeah, of Black people. Where is our counter Black people to counter what's going on? We don't have enough of them because we steer our kids into the wrong directions. You got people that want to be strippers. They want to be in the streets. They want to be athletes or entertainers. That's it. We don't put them toward the sciences.
Well, I wouldn't say that's it. I mean, we got people doing other stuff now.
Yeah, in general, but I'm talking overall.
Joanne, I'm sorry. He says, so what about his daughter, Cora? I don't know anything about his daughter, but if she acts that way, maybe he was talking about her too. I don't know, because I don't go to TD Jakes' church. I have my issues with TD Jakes. You know, he was kind of acting greasy toward the minister, so I don't really follow TD Jakes a lot. I just saw that trending, and I was like, I mean, but again, he was talking to the men too, so I don't understand how just that part of it, and that kind of backs up to what Shahrazad Ali said, who also, you know, was talking greasy about the minister. But it kind of backs up what she said. You can't say nothing to Black women. Like she has not been, she being we, has not been able to be examined. Like you can't, like what point, can I ask y'all this? And I'm not saying this to y'all sisters. I'm just asking this question. At what point can anybody say anything to us long enough for us to say, you know what? Not off the rip, I want to go off. I want to cuss somebody out and tell them they wrong and how dare you. At what point do we get to when do we get to the point where we say, you know, I don't like what they said, but is there any truth to it? And at what point do we get to where we can say, I'm not going to do the whataboutism? What about men? What about them? When are we going to get to the point where we say, okay, this was said about us, and there's been a lot of janky things said about the sisters, so I'm not saying that. But when are we going to get to a point where we say, yeah, that's plausible. I think there's a little truth to that. Like, why do we got to get mad and go all out? Because like I said, on one hand, sisters is falling out and swinging from the chandeliers up in TD Jakes' church, the Potter House, I think that is. But the minute he says something off about Black women, it's like, oh, he tripping. But I guess what? You ain't gonna take your money out that church. You ain't gonna stop tithing. So it's like, did he speak a word? And if it don't apply to you, if you ain't mean, nasty, and all that, keep it pushing.
Well, let me ask you a question, Demetra. There was a video that recently came out. I'm not sure if Brother Phil covered it or not, or if you covered it, about that lady that was talking back to the judge about her case.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. The first one. You know, that's a prime example. How do you sit there and overtalk the judge? And, you know, I was embarrassed as a Black person watching this sister, but this is what really goes on with a lot, not all sisters, but with some sisters out there. They just won't shut their mouth. You're going to tell the judge who has a law degree how the thing is supposed to do. It was insane when I saw that video. My mom sent me that video. That's how insane it was.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And Kiki says, I think TD Jakes made valid points. I also think many people took him as placing the microscope on women, but in my opinion, was really placing on men. When men take their rightful place, women naturally follow. It's time for men to lead better. Both genders have work to do. And that's what he said. That's basically what he said. Because I listened to, some more of it, and I was like, he was really talking about the men, but this, little blip, if you will, got out. And it went wild, but it's like you didn't play the part where he said, "Men, you got to be something worthy of pouring from." Like, you know what I mean? But I'm like, this is just, I don't know. But that's the world, though. We take little snippets of stuff and then we go bananas, right? And of course, it's one thing I hate about a lot of these blogs, our blogs, if you will, a lot of these gossip rags. They take little snippets, put it off as a truth, which is yellow journalism, is what it is, and they don't include what it was really about. They take those little salacious things and then blow it up, piss off Black women. Black women don't need to be pissed off no more for a whole lot of reasons, right? So they do it to piss off Black women. And then, they leave off an important part of it, which was really talking about dudes. And Only Pamela's Way says, I love my sisters and we should show each other more love. Now some are out of order. Those are the ones we have to leave alone. Yeah, and he wasn't like, that doesn't apply to all Black women. If it ain't you, then like, well, shoot, let me pray for them sisters. If it ain't you, but if it's you, then we need to examine that and say, wow, okay, that rock hit me. They say if you throw a rock into the crowd, the one that hollers is the one that got hit. So if you're the one that's hollering, maybe that does apply to you, and you can say, well, okay, it sucks, but there's any truth to that. Am I a little mean? Am I a little nasty? And all of that. So I don't know. And Don says, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Absolutely. Tanya says, bottom line is respect for each other. There you go. Damon says, there were no Blacks in Mayberry. You must be talking to Donovan. Talking about something on Mayberry. And he says, Ayala can't fix the life and Monique can't correct the bonnet wearers. Yeah, exactly. Monique, she got dragged all over the place for saying sisters, queens, beautiful, lovely ladies. I mean, she was nice. Can we start wearing the bonnets in the airport and the pajamas and the slippers? And oh my God, you would have thought she said, throw your firstborn off a cliff. And, I don't know if the bonnet situation has gotten worse in public. I think it's gotten worse. I mean, I'm even seeing dudes wear bonnets. So I don't know. Like, what kind of hairstyle?
That was the 80s. That was the 80s. You got your Jerry curl juice dripping. You got to put it on there to keep it going.
Listen, it wasn't cool then for people to be wearing plastic bags up out the house. But I just question, what kind of hairstyle y'all got up under these bonnets? That is it like a supreme hairstyle? Like when you take it off, it's like you can't wear it out. I get it. Normally, y'all know I like to wear afro or a big poof or a bun, but Houston won't let me be great, so I got these little things in my head or whatever, but I ain't gonna wear no bonnet outside to the store. Saw a lady there at Walmart. She had a red bonnet on. She had a red dress. I was like, well, at least she's coordinated. And Joanne, you say Cora Jakes is one as well. So I don't know anything about her. I'm gonna take your word for it. And Tanya T says, miserable hurt people. Okay. And Wilbur, he says, I don't believe in white Jesus or the church, but I do listen to TD Jakes when he's not doing all that Holy Ghost foolishness. He's a good teacher. Yeah, I mean, he sounds like it. And Anaisa says Kim Burrell shouldn't have apologized. So you think Kim Burrell was right for what she was saying, or you think her apology was kind of whack? Where are you going with that? And a Pioneer says, white folks know Black folks better than many of our people know themselves, which is why they often use physical force to keep Black people in line, not relying on biblical scriptures and preaching. Okay. And Angela says, term limits is a good goal for Congress members, Demetra. Yeah, I totally agree. It should be term limits. I don't think you should be able to be in there when you turn, however, 18 until, Donovan said they carrying you out in the rotund. I just think that's a little ridiculous. Because, and I no shade to older people. I guess I'm older and I'll get older. I think after a while, you gonna continue to apply the same old stuff that you was applying back in the day. It's like,
well,
we ain't there no more.
Well, think about it. If you were a young white racist man during desegregation, like Joe Biden, a leopard doesn't change its spots. He might tolerate a lot of stuff, but there's countless videos of Joe Biden says, I don't want you black people next to my grandkids and my daughters, something paraphrasing, something like that. A leopard doesn't change its spots. It just doesn't. Now, in our community, the people that are like Joe Biden, our parents' generation, they want recognition. That's all they want. That's all they wanted. We want to be treated better. We want to be treated better. We want to be acknowledged. That was their reparation, because that's all they wanted. And now look at them. A lot of them are getting older and they're getting sick. They just want to die a quiet death, instead of going screaming and kicking. That's why they haven't left you nothing. They haven't taught you nothing. And they don't care what happens to the generations that come up behind them. And this is their attitudes overall. I'm not saying all of you guys, but overall.
Yeah, and then they also had an attitude of, because I said so. You don't tell me what to do. I'm right. So, and Brother Simon says, political question. What do we need to do, or how do we educate our people politically to support those blacks we put in office, to give them a backbone and navigate those fields in a way that they can stand strong for their people, black people, unapologetically? I say it's simple. If the first term you have not made any strides, and because we can educate our people, and I think we need to educate them on this. If we've elected somebody to an office and they don't do what they're supposed to do, they don't look like they're doing anything in that first term, they got to go. We educate our people by saying, stop being apathetic, and that you just allow people, just because, I'm either here or there, but you allow them to sit in the seat and they're not bringing home the bacon or improving your living conditions or anything like that. If in that one, because I know sometimes in Congress they got 2 years, maybe it ain't enough. But if they don't even look like they're making any strides to doing anything specifically for the people who voted for them, we need to educate our people on stop going to the polls and re-electing oppression. That's what we need to, and that's what we're trying to do. Hold the vote until you get something for it, or get the people in there that's not doing anything for you out of there. Period. That's what white people do. White people or everybody else, when they elect people to go to office and they don't do their jobs, they get them out of there. They don't just let them sit in there till they die, unless they're doing something for them.
Right. Demetri, are you familiar with Ken Calvert here in Riverside?
Yes.
The congressman? Ken Calvert is a congressman that was a congressman when we were still in high school. He gets the job done for his community. He gets reelected. He's still in office till this very day because he's bringing the bacon home to the white folks, period.
And then, so I'm seeing, a few of y'all saying that y'all agree with TD Jakes. Manolo says, I can lead a horse to the water, but can make him drink. You can or you can't, because you be the first one in history to do it. Kiki says, exactly, I agree, Demetri. He was getting on the brothers, and he was also saying that we as women have to work to do and have a position to fall in as well. So yeah, he stepped on our toes and had us hollering ouch, but we've got to learn to be able to hear. We have improvement to do as well, and we do. All of us do. Wisdom is being able to receive good and sound counseling. I'm not a fan of his, but he made some points. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when can we sometimes just stop? Why does anger? And for those of y'all go to the Bible, what does it say to be slow to do? It says be slow to anger, slow to speak. And don't give me the line, but I know it says something like that. I think it's in the book of Timothy, if I'm not mistaken. But why is anger the first reaction? He tripping. Why he talking about black women? It's like, oh my God. Was he saying something harmful, or was there little truth to that? Even if it's a little truth with it, can we just deal with that? Let's see. And Angela says, prison basically a plantation system. Yes, that's exactly what it is, right? And Frankie saying he's right. And the Pioneer says there are many reasons for the high incarceration rate, but one of the biggest reasons is the rampant drug use and involvement. It's a trap that white racists put out to get black folks locked up. Absolutely. I mean, and it's a money grab, to be honest with you.
And Pioneer, have you noticed that he hasn't repealed the 1994 crime bill? Nancy Pelosi isn't even talking about it, but Democrats are for Black people. That's one of the main reasons that incentivized states to incarcerate Black people with that 1994 crime bill. They have all of the forms of government. They're not even talking about repealing it. You want to know why? Because they don't want to.
Absolutely. And Tanya, he says, does TD Jakes have an ATM in his church lobby? Someone said, I think a lot of churches have an ATM in the church lobby. You ain't gonna be talking, shoot. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have a cash app. Oh, you ain't got no cash? Here's the church's cash app. Okay, got it, Manolo. So you meant to say, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. Got you. Hello, LaMarcus. How are you doing? Michael said, Demetria, what if Congress is 100% Black, Senate is 100% Black, and President is 100% Black with a real Black agenda, no white supremacists, no Asians, etc.?
You're describing Africa and what happened in Africa right now with the former president of South Africa.
I mean, honestly, Michael, at the rate that we're going now, if they were 100% Black, it wouldn't mean anything because the Congressional Black Caucus is 100% Black. And what are they doing for Black people? So it could just be a whole bunch of Black people going up there. Yeah, and first of all, white people ain't going to allow that to happen. Okay, because one thing they do not want to do is lose control. So that will never happen. But, you know, in utopia, maybe, I don't know. And
your analogy is what happened in South Africa. I mean, Nelson Mandela got elected, right? The African Congress has been in charge for almost 35 years, or whenever that happened. And Zuma, the former president, he's worth $8 billion. So in South Africa, that was supposed to be the rainbow country of the world, the example of, apartheid ended, separating apart. Till this very day, what is it? What's the number, Demetria? 70% of the wealth is still controlled by the white people that live there.
It's about 90.
Yeah, 90%. Mm-hmm. So all Black government. Oh, she's still talking. So
I was talking to my daughter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but 90% of the wealth is still controlled by the 11% of the whites in the population. Blacks are 90% of the population.
So whites own 90% of the wealth, and Black people own about 10%, but it's flipped around where it's 90% Black and 10% other.
Right.
So yeah,
exactly.
And she says, my father corrects me, but no other man does. Yeah, I get correction from my father almost daily, and I'm 51 years old. But when and if you get married, your husband should be able to correct you. I'm not saying this about you, but I know a lot of women feel like that's not the case. Like, who is he? He don't tell me what to do. But if he's the head of the household and y'all go to church, he's the high priestess of the home. He is supposed to be able to correct you. Now, obviously, I hate to say this because, I feel like I do. He has to be doing that in love. It can't be on no barbaric type of stuff. But yeah, so I get what you're saying. Pioneer says, even when you know that dope was put out by the racists to entrap Black folks and have them fill up the prisons and jails, yet they still rap about using it and selling it and grin while smoking it. Well, you also got to understand the nature of the record companies. Who owns the record companies? That'll tell you a lot about why they are having these rappers and stuff talk about the things that they're talking about. And two last town, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, never as a whole group, never. And Tanya says, when it's our own FBA people saying it, I think it's all said in love, or at least not to hurt us, but to help us. Okay. You say I'm funny. I don't be trying to be funny. Sweet. I'm just saying, y'all know them women be up in there hooping and hollering and rolling, doing torpedoes all over the pews and stuff, falling out. They have to cover them up with claws and all of that kind of stuff. But the minute he says something to them, the Holy Ghost ain't nowhere around. They talking about Holy Ghost back off. Not right now, so I don't know. And Joanna says, I'm 70, but he needs to clean his own house. Yes, I can take criticism, but he has issues as well. Yes, I agree. But again, who's to say he wasn't talking to his daughter, I'm assuming, or anybody else that he knows too? I didn't hear the whole message, so I don't know. So was he purposely excluding those women? He says, this message is for all Black women except for my daughter. Did he say that? Because if he didn't say that, maybe he was saying that to her as well. I don't know. So we can't really rule it out. And I'm not sticking up for TD Jakes, y'all. I'm one of those people I kind of like to examine all possibilities. And only Pamela's Way says, what you say, Sis Demetra K, they be saying be saying he tripping. Yeah, I mean, when you say something about them, it's like, no, you don't, Negro. And Wilbury says, I'm a mathematician and broke because I wanted to teach. Yeah, most people tell you, teachers, they're not doing as well as they should be doing, so. And Robin says, some of these men need to be in the position to lead in order for these single women to submit to them. What is these women supposed to do? Starve and be homeless waiting? Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, was the crux of his message. Yeah, that was the crux of his message. He was talking to men, be something so you could pour into that woman so she can step into her femininity. And we know that's a lot of sisters' problems, is that we're not oftentimes allowed to be feminine. We have to kind of be masculine. A lot of it is we protect ourselves. And the other part of it is because we a lot of times are single and have to fend for the household and things like that. And so that is more or less like a masculine thing. So yeah, but I agree. He was actually talking to the men. And two last times says, she said, are we done here? And Joanna says, I don't swing around poles and never have. Me either. It would probably break or I would break. And Tanya says, just respect each other. Absolutely. And Manola says, the truth is not for everyone. And unfortunately, most of you will be labeled among the wicked and destroyed with our enemies. All right. And Robbie says, you agree with Kiki. Okay. And LM3, how you doing? He says, Russia, China, and Iran are locking up. And Biden is still opening his pothole about defending Taiwan. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with Biden, although I can speculate, but I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know.
Cognizance dissonance. He's losing his
faculties.
Yeah, faculty.
Jafai says, my youngest brother is into sports. He also has a doctorate in molecular and cellular biology, but everyone doesn't have the ability to do what he did. So you be good at what you do best, period. Whatever that is you can do that. I totally agree. And Shirley says, if the head is sick, the whole body is sick. You better preach. I think that's really what he was saying, right? Okay, and who else came on here? And LL, how are you doing? He says, hey, Demetra and Donovan, how are you doing? Love your show. We're doing well, and we love you being here. And LM3 says, Clyburn is getting on an Attaboy Award from the NAACP. He's getting their highest honor. Like for what? The best seasoning on the fish? Like, what is it he's getting awarded for? Because the NAACP, I know it started by white people, but I'm just saying, National Advancement Association, whatever it is for colored people. Maybe it meant people of color. I don't know. But I thought it was supposed to be, and I know it's not for Black people. And so he's getting an award for doing what? What exactly is he getting an award for? That would be interesting. I have to find out. And let's see here, Angela Reddick, you said a lot of these women are angry and bitter. Some of them need therapy or more and training in being a lady. Now, see, and I agree with you, but that don't mean he was talking to all women. But, to your point, a lot of women do it. And I'll tell y'all, I've been to therapy and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It was actually quite nice to have a conversation with somebody other than people that know me.
Yeah, but during that consultation, you were telling the doctor what needs to be done. No, you got to do it this way. No, that ain't how you're supposed to do it. I'm supposed to be on a couch. I need some wine. I need my Patron.
I doubt it. And I was all ears and I was taking notes, and I'm a better person for it, I must say. And Shirley says, no, I seen a video the other day with a brother with a bonnet on. Yeah, I see it at Walmart a lot. I've even seen it in the mall, bonnets on. I'm like, my people. Pioneer says, at the end of the day, most Black people are going to do whatever white folks let them do, regardless as to whether it's right or wrong. If we want to stop, we need our own land and laws. Yeah, I agree with you. Pioneer says, we need to build our Black communities back up the way white supremacists have destroyed, and get the nuclear family back in order. More marrying and women respect the men and men respect the black woman, period. And we could do a whole lot of things if we could just do that. Sunlight says, I agree. What good is a hairstyle that no one can see? I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Do you just take it out for special occasions? Like, what is that about? And how do people wander around outside with bonnets on in this heat? My head would explode.
And then what's crazy is, ladies, you guys do this for us. And supposedly you got this hairstyle to, keep us interested and attracted, right? We, nigga, don't be touching my hair. Put your little do-rag on and, you want to get romantic and rub your fingers through her hair, and you can't because she just got it done.
Listen, brother, you getting what's coming out this bonnet when I want to take this bonnet off. You hear me? I'm just playing. And Thunder says, carefree, curl, and Virginia Slims. Memories, yes, memories, good times. If y'all don't know already, Thunder likes his women extra seasoned. You know how our grandmamas used to hang that salt pork on the back porch? That's how seasoned he like his women. Seasoned. And Tanya, he says, at least she was coordinated lady in the red. Yeah, I couldn't knock her hustle. I was like, she got the red hat on, the red dress. All right, do you? Jason, how you doing? He says, no man, I'm gonna put this up. No man wants a woman who acts mannish, no matter what she have accomplished. A man doesn't care about how much money she makes or how many degrees she has. Men want a feminine woman and want her to stay in her place. This is a big problem. I'm the African, I think I'm in the African-American community, fellas, I'm telling the truth. Yeah, I agree with you. And I know what you mean by stay in her place, because I know some people be like, what? What you mean stay in her place? It means, play your position. He'll play his position, and together we'll make magic, right? Don't try to take his manhood. Don't try to take his manhood, usurp him, and all that other stuff. You don't tell me what to do. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with what you said. And Jan Michael says, no, currently I see men wearing them. Saw one on YouTube early this week. Like, come on. Men, instead of y'all telling the sisters not to wear the bonnets, y'all got your work cut out. Tell these men to stop wearing these bonnets. That's what y'all need to do. And Pamela's Way says, I saw one lady with a full set of pajamas, robe, and slippers, and I thought she didn't have time to slip on some shorts and tee. So embarrassing. And she was out in public like that. And Tanya said, did you see that girl with the bonnet mad because she was trying to wear a bonnet in the turkey leg hut? Yeah, come on, lady. Like, for real? Pioneer says, absolutely, sis. When white folks make a law and want black folks to obey, they don't rely on the Bible or some preaching. They send the cops. They send the troops. They know what works and what doesn't. Okay. And Michael says, Demetra and Donovan.
I have a quick question. I have a quick question. How many of you guys have been watching the congressional hearings or whatever that BS is going on? Now, with all of the things that they brought up, you notice that this white man is still walking around free. Just the elements that they have brought up, he should have been charged with the crime by now. Am I the only one that's been thinking like, what's going on
Trump?
with that?
You talking about Trump?
Yeah, Trump.
That they never were interested in charging Trump. It's all a dog and pony show, honestly. And Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, what would you say to your brothers and sisters living in Asia, Europe, and other countries? Asians and Europeans are more covertly racist than white Americans are. Yeah, I would say it's probably more covert than European. The white people, they're overt in a lot of places. But I really believe that Asians are getting the narrative of racism from that of white people. So you can tell me if I'm wrong about that. And Anna says, Kim Burrell stated her opinion. She shouldn't make an excuse on how she felt. Most Christians are poor, just want her people to do better. Okay, is that what it was? Because I didn't get that. I didn't get that from that. So I don't go to the church, admittedly. So, maybe it went here with me. And I don't think a lot of other people got that as well. So maybe it's just my interpretation. Pioneer says, King, fact is a lot of our older people try to teach these young folks, but many of them don't want to listen. A lot of young people, I think they already know everything, can't tell them anything. And that's our fault because we let them get away with it, right? Kind of spoiled them and let them have a little bit more of a say so than normal, right? And Old School says we need people like Marcel Dixon to run for office. I totally agree. And Damon, he says, Black first, but family boycott these divided snakes of America. Absolutely. And Gidio, how you doing? He says these people are not elected by us. They are installed by white liberals. Very good point. Very good point. You also say the illusion of inclusion. All right, so I'm going to get down to a little bit at the bottom of these so I can catch up. And LM3 says Marcel Dixon, problem was that he ran as a Democrat. If he were serious, he should have declared independent or Green Party. Nah, he'd had and this is my opinion. I mean, I know a little bit about politics. I think he would have had an issue either way. We know that the ruling parties, if you will, Republican and Democrats, they try their best to snuff out that of a third party. And so would he have been more successful? No, I don't think he would have. I think he ultimately had a giant machine that Jim Clyburn, who has a lot of money, who was an establishment Democrat, if you will. So he has a lot of backing. Marcel Dixon admittedly came out the gate last year, so he's fairly new. But as far as him running as an independent or a Green Party, wouldn't have made a bit of difference at all.
Yeah, because you think about it, didn't the Democrats rig the primaries against Bernie Sanders when he was going for the nomination against Hillary?
They always do.
This man, yeah, they did. This man made up 61 points in less than a year in regard, and that's another reason why Hillary lost. Nina Turner, the Democratic machine came out on her and just dropped all kinds of money for her opponent. And now you got another black bootlick that is in Congress that don't give a shit about black people, even though she's young, but she doesn't give a shit about black people because she's beholden to her donors.
And who is this?
That lady that just won that seat against Nina Turner. She was a councilwoman or something, and they handpicked her to lick boots, and that's what she decided to do.
Absolutely. Jafia says, I wonder why people are not pushing return to Africa down the throats, I think he meant, of Caribbeans, Solomon Island, and Australian Aborigines. Aren't they all descendants of Africa? I mean, I don't know. Many people come over here. And when you say they, who are you talking about specifically? In LM3 says, Biden took all the money from the CARES Act and gave it to the police, basically doubling down on his crime bill position. Yes. And so he basically told states and local governments to take the money from the CARES Act for the COVID bill, if you will, and allocate that to public safety. We know what that means, right? So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but have you guys noticed they're giving all this money to the police folks that are doing terrible jobs? And as taxpayers, we're paying all these payouts because the police officer, that's why qualified immunity was so important. The police officer does not pay that settlement. It's you, the taxpayer. So if they got rid of qualified immunity, then you could directly sue that cop that did the thing, and it keeps us, the taxpayer, off of that role. It's just sickening. Here's another question. We're out of Afghanistan now. Do you guys realize the military budget is, I think, $200 million away from $1 trillion? And we're at peace right now, supposedly. When you look at your GDP, when you as a nation are spending almost 50% of your GDP on military, you're headed for a fall. So people got to look at that. Japan spends less than 10% of their GDP on the military. You want to know why? Because we're over there doing all the work for them.
Brother Reggie, we talking about everything now. We was talking about TD Jakes just a minute ago. I'm sure you've seen a statement where he kind of admonished black women and all hell broke loose. Let's see here. Arson, how are you doing? He says, hey guys, so late. No, you right on time. Says, how y'all been? We've been great. Says, just caught bits here and there. So I'll make separate comments, but about the topic. When I saw the video of the mascot and black kid, I was so sincerely hurt. And why were you hurt, if you don't mind me asking, dear brother? And Tanya says, we need to stay on call with each other, black people. I totally agree with you. Jeremy Has Awakened says, all this is why the Electoral College will never be eliminated to control the final election outcome. Absolutely. Is there, just in case, it's going to have its way one way or the other. The popular vote is just to allow the voter to think that you actually have some say-so.
Yeah, and how many of you guys know the legislators in a lot of red states, they are making legislation to where they can overturn an election if they don't like it. So you guys got to be, like I said, if you're not paying attention to this stuff, by the time you realize it, the ovens will already be hot and operational.
Absolutely. Okay, so, and Moni, let's see. You said, Dimitri, if you think about it, we never thought we would see a woman for vice president, let alone a black man. I think he meant let alone a black man for president. Never say never. When God has his way, it will change. The masses fight against. All right. That's fair. And let's see who else on here that I haven't seen in a while. Jake Bubble, you says there are a lot of straight-laced brothers. However, if he isn't 6 foot tall and nice, he will get passed over for a dusty pookie. That's not all women. And I've kind of heard that, going around, as some people would say, the manosphere. I don't know if you necessarily belong there, but not a lot. Some women will, but just because a man is 6 feet tall and nice, that don't mean he's actually that, right? I think nowadays a woman really just wants a man who's going to treat her right. You know what I mean? She wants a man who's going to, at least meet her halfway and not with all the nonsense and, the cheating and all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking from a good woman's point of view. You don't have to be 6 feet or any of that kind of stuff. I just want the man to act right. That's all I'm saying, right? So, yeah, there's some women who are bent on how he looks, but hell, we know there's a lot of men that's 6 feet tall driving Lamborghinis and got a lot of money in his pocket, but he ain't shit. So that's my little commercial about that. And let's see who else. Jay the Informant said, at the same time, you have to remember that these white liberal dollars put millions behind them during elections. Absolutely. Yanni, how are you doing? And who else came on here that I have not seen in a while? Robbie said, that's right. If the head is sick, the whole body is sick. Absolutely. And Joanne, you says, was a secretary for NAACP. Who was this? Oh, you were a secretary for NAACP? And Michael says, would you move to South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, or another African countries? Because Philip Scott said that life is better for brothers and sisters. I would actually. I like South Africa. I've been to South Africa, Donovan and I, and we went to the Seychelles. Seychelles was cool. Not really an island type of person. It was nice. I could see vacationing in the Seychelles. But South Africa was it for me. Very nice. Cost of living was good. People were lovely. I mean, I had a good time there. I don't have anything bad to say about South Africa. Not admittedly there. I wasn't there for like a month or anything like that. But I was there long enough to say this is a really beautiful place. Not just because of the land, if you will, the country, but because of the people. The people were very nice and loving. And I would say, I don't want to say better than America, but it was different. The people were different there, if I can say so. That's why he says, why
it's just weird seeing black people owning everything. That's all. Hustling.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to spend money with black people, Fatson says, why do we feel like we can't do for us? We're too quick to look for help outside of ourselves. Absolutely. And that's what we should be doing. But we do want our reparations, all right? Pioneer says, Queen, the name color NAACP was actually out of the earlier belief that most light-skinned Afro-Americans didn't see themselves as black, like South Africa. They were a separate race. Yes, that is true. That is very true. But somehow we got around being called black, right? And Arson says, I agree with whoever said you're funny. You both are. Y'all my favorite show. We get to both learn and laugh about TD Jakes. We need to quit reacting to video snippets and wait for full version first. Yeah, and it's on YouTube if you want to check out the whole thing. It is on there. But yeah, that's how they do. They give you little snippets so they can piss off black women and get us all riled up. And we need to be careful as humans, not to allow people to hijack our amygdala. That's the part of our brain that stores our emotions. And people are masters at doing that to us, right? Put that out there. Tell them TD Jakes was talking greasy about black women. And then black women, they get the pitchforks and they going after TD Jakes. It's like, come on, man. Listen to the whole thing. Then you be like, oh, well, yeah, he was kind of tapping the backside of black men as well. So somebody says, well, Patron and therapy sounds like an experience. Yes, indeed. Robin says, I see white little girls with bonnets on too. Oh, wow. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm sure now that you said it, I'm going to start seeing it. I don't like it at all. Tanya says, y'all are hilarious. And Pioneer says, carefree curls, laugh out loud. Yes, world of curls, baby. And Pioneer says, anybody remember Hawaiian silk? Yeah, I got shampoo and conditioner. It's Hawaiian silk, yeah. Hawaiian silky makes your hair soft. And Brother Samuel says, white people in South Africa used to and may still say the NAACP means Negroes, apes. Wow. Oh, he says, oh, not South Africa. I'm sorry. Let me back it on up, because I know that's going to start some mess. It says, white people in the South used to say and may still say NAACP means Negroes, apes, alligators, coons, and possums. Damn. White people in the South. Wow. All right. I'm sure they still say that. And Tanya says, stop wearing these bonnets out in public, period. Yes. Guns and Butter. What's up with the name? How you doing? He says, how can you meet Mr. Right when you're looking all wrong in public? Bonnets are turn off. I agree, baby. I agree. I don't think any man worth his weight is going to be wanting to run up on a sister unless she had a big booty, you know what I'm saying, in a bonnet, you know. That's probably not going to get too much of the attention of a man who's really about something. I mean, figure like if you wear a bonnet in public, then, you know, you probably really don't care too much about a lot of other things. And I don't want to make generalizations, but I would imagine that's what somebody would say if they saw a woman in public. Like, nah, I ain't going to step to her. I mean, damn, she didn't have a sense enough to, you know, get dressed or comb her hair to come out here. So, you know, it's kind of crazy. And go ahead.
But you know what? With all of that, though, a lot of the problem is these millennials, you can't tell them nothing, which is a fault of ours as parents. But, you know, you would think that at this point, they're saying within the next 20 years, there are going to be so many single Black women of elder age. They're going to be by themselves. That's what they're saying statistically. I don't know the exact numbers. But what I think a lot of us, what we should start doing is correcting the course and tell some of these young girls, you don't want to end up in this situation. Find you a man. Not saying you have to get married, but find you somebody so you don't have to grow old by yourself. Because I'm telling you, it's not good. It's not looking good for Black women that are coming up, because these younger girls are making the same exact mistakes that their mothers and their grandmothers made.
Well, what about the older Black women?
Like how old? How much are you talking?
I'm talking about my age, 20.
Oh, it's a wrap. You guys are done. Stick a fork in it. You're done. Get a cat. Wait. In the words of that great man, Kevin Samuels, get a dog and die.
Pioneer says, Brother Jason has a point. Men want feminine women. We aren't concerned with their education or economic achievements. They certainly are important to her, but they don't affect her attractiveness. I agree with that. I mean, I have degrees. I rarely talk about them. I mean, they're neither here or there. I can imagine going to, or a man coming up to me because I don't approach men. By the way, I'm Demetra K, BA, MBA. Now what you want to talk about? You know, that's dumb. Let's see here. And Thoughts of the Week podcast says these hearings are and were just to try to scare Trump from running as president. Oh, he gonna run again. He gonna be right up in the cut because he know they ain't gonna do nothing to him.
Yeah, well, actually, what they're doing is what they did to Hillary during the Benghazi trial. Remember, the minority leader Kevin McCarthy said that's exactly what they did to categorize her as a negative type person. They kept running Benghazi and kept bringing her out and keep bringing her out. I think the Democrats are using the same exact playbook.
Al, I'm gonna leave that up there so Donovan can read that. That's a double entendre, if you will. Robin says Kim Burrell was being reckless with her mouth as always, then backpedaling when people started dragging her. She did the same thing when she made that homosexuality comment back in 2017. She also talked greasy about Fantasia. And she also said something to a contestant on Sunday's Best where he, you know, had to check her and Donnie McClurkin. He said, y'all rude and y'all nasty and y'all evil. Y'all sit here laughing at people who are really trying to make it. He said, I spent all my rent money to be here and you laughing at me. And she's like, oh, well, you know, we're friends and that's how we act. And all that other stuff. But it's like, no, you're a horrible human being. So I agree with you. Pioneer says, I agree. Marshall should have ran as an independent. Now I will concede this point. Maybe him running as an independent, he maybe would have gone on past the primaries because he would have been in his own lane. Maybe would have given him enough time to wake up other people, say, hey, here I am type of thing. But, I mean, was he going to beat James Clyburn? No. Money most oftentimes wins, the race. And as someone else said, I mean, James is picked because he's their boy. He's not going to upset the apple cart. And unfortunately, at the same time, Marcel is talking some, pretty big things like black this, black that, which is great. But, white people ain't cutting for that. And, and there's a lot of black people who will not allow him to do that either, because it goes against the talking points that they have to continue getting their butter biscuits. So,
in the words of Clyburn, what the fuck y'all fucking with me for? I've been working on reparations for over 30 years. What you talking about? What you talking about, y'all?
Stop sloganizing.
Y'all fuck with me. He did say that in an interview when the Black Authority went to his fish fry. He's like, quit fucking with me. Why y'all fucking with me? And notice how they curse at the black constituent. They don't do that to the white folks.
Of course. No, they got their best tap dance shoes on for them. Go check yourself. How you doing? It says, never apologize for telling the truth, even if it hurts someone's feelings. Maybe when you tell the truth, people will reflect on what you're saying and maybe change their behavior. No, I totally agree. But we also got to make sure that we tell the truth in love, right? Not the razor blades and lemon juice approach. So absolutely. And Michael says, Democrats did rig against Bernie and Nina Turner. Oh, absolutely. Let's see here. And Tanya says, I stand with Macy Gray. I hope she don't apologize. She kind of did apologize. You know how they do. Jeremy as Awakened says, they never charge each other on the congressional hearings. It's a professional curiosity. Otherwise, they would all be out of office. Marcel Dixon has already said he has filed his paperwork for 2024. That's awesome. Yeah, he needs to start campaigning right now, because 2 years is not really a long time. Sandra Day says, absolutely nothing is going to happen to Trump. Nope, not at all. And I'm just getting down to the bottom here. Arseny says, bottom line is we're too emotional. It makes us manipulable. He says, Monique meant well. The video of the girl talking over an actual judge proves Kevin Samuels' point that we can't say much to black women. Yeah, I saw that, and she was a horrible person. She tried to sue a man because he ghosted her, I guess it was. He ghosted her. So she took him to court, and he was like, oh, my God. The judge was kind of like, what the hell? But in a judicial way. And she was over-talking him. And she brought the suit, and she's on her phone. It looked like she's walking through the mall, and she's talking. And I was like, oh, my. I hung up on her, to be honest with you. I was like, man, get out of here. I'm dismissing this case. She's an idiot. Next. Then LaMarcus says, what black woman is president? Aha. Sunlight says, it's not most women either. No, it's not. It's a small amount. I totally agree with you. It's not most black women, but it's enough black women for it to be attention brought to it. And admittedly, other women do the stuff too. But again, they got a man. They got a man more than black women do, statistically speaking. So we need to figure. Now, I'm not saying it's just us, but black men and women need to figure out how to get our stuff together. And Cherie, how you doing? Say he's stating facts. Our government will be the next most dangerous president, DeSantis. Ooh, so you're from Florida. Y'all think it'll be DeSantis? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Well, put it like this: if Joe Biden runs, and this is what you guys got to realize, if Joe Biden runs, the Democrats might as well hand the presidency over to the Republicans right now, because there is no way any of you guys or anybody out there that's seeing the way that the country is right now and all of the promises that he broke, and his cognizant reasoning is declining. There's no way he's going to win it. There's a rumor that your girl Kamala Harris has been meeting with old school Democratic donors and is going to be a challenge to Biden. But even if she ran, her numbers are worse than Biden. So again, these parties are the same. All they do is they tell you, we're better than the Republicans. Yeah, we ain't shit, but we're better than the Republicans. So either way you go, they got you in a trick bag. Either way it goes. But definitely, if Biden runs, The Democrats are going to lose. If Kamala Harris runs, the Democrats are going to lose. That's why Biden needs to bow out now and say that he's not going to run for re-election, so that younger, more progressive and stronger candidates can step up. Because those progressives, AOC and all those people, they don't want to talk against the Democratic machine because that's where they get a lot of their money.
First of all, Joe Biden is not running again, and neither is Kamala. But it is a fact that the Democratic Party does not want Joe Biden to run. And I think for obvious reasons, he's, and I'm not trying to be mean. I don't like his policies. I don't really like him and what he's done to Black people. But I think it's safe to say that cognitively, he's got something going on. He's up there in age. So the Democratic Party, DNC, don't want him. They know damn well Kamala will hand, the presidency over to somebody else. And so you best believe they're looking at other people. Who it is, I don't know. I don't think America really wants DeSantis as well, because while white supremacy wants to be that, he's just as bad, if not worse than that of what's his face? What's that fool's the governor here?
Wheels.
I
forgot his name.
My mind.
Yeah. Old age.
It is, because I can't think of that man. Greg Abbott. Yeah.
Greg Abbott. Hot Wheels Abbott.
He's just as bad, if not worse. So I don't know, y'all. All right. So Pioneer says, sis, come on with this. Wants a man to treat her right. There are a lot of women who love and want a man who dogs them out. I wouldn't say there's a lot of women who want that. I can't think of one woman, honestly, who wants that. A man that just dogged them out. Just, as Mama Payne used to say, take him here and then take him there. I can't think of too many women who want that. Now, is she asking the right questions? And vetting him, courting him? Probably not. But a woman, because how many men really have verbalized that I want a woman to take me to the bank, to treat me dirty, cheat on me? How many men have really said that? Donovan, have you ever said that?
What? They want them to cheat on me?
Do you know any man who's ever said, I'm looking for a woman who gonna do me do-lo?
No, I've never heard
what I mean? So we can have that conversation, but we're running out of time. But I understand where you're going, Pioneer. All right, so we're gonna get out of here because we have been over time. I'm just going down here to the comments. Mike Nice, how you doing? He says, say it, Donovan. And LM3 says, Megan Good with a bonnet. She can get it. See what I'm saying? See? Said this life always goes too quick. Yes, indeed, it does. And LaMarcus says, Demetri, you can find a man whenever you want. Stop tripping. Or can I? And Dusty Hotep says the older women are barbecue chicken. What the hell does that mean? We love you too, Kimmy. And Michael says, what do you think about Donald Trump winning the 2020 presidential election? What did he say to you? My African Americans, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a douchebag, but it was a lot better off when Trump was in office. Yeah, I know they had a little insurrection. But that was white folks' business. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Like, why are we mad about them going to the Capitol? Why? Well, like, what is that? That has absolutely nothing to do with us as Black people. But we glued in to the insurrection here. And I have not watched one moment of it. You know why? Because I know it's bull caca. And I ain't going to waste my time with none of it. Pioneer says many men want intelligent women, but intelligent as far as knowing how and when to speak and act. Not intelligent in terms of a lot of knowledge stored up. That doesn't impress most men. Yeah, but I don't know. I just think that there are a lot of men out there that does want a woman that's knowledgeable, because a woman should be knowledgeable. A woman should be able to teach her man something, and he should be able to teach her something. So I hear what you're saying as far as know how to act, but there's a lot of women who know how to act and speak, and they are intelligent. Do you want a box of rocks for a woman? Some of y'all might want that.
That's the perfect woman.
Yeah, a woman that's just jiggling. I mean, I know that's cute in theory, but you know, when you ask her to do some stuff to take care of the household, she's like, whatever do you mean? Then you're going to go trade her in for somebody who know how to do that. So let's keep it real, stop lying. And go check yourself. He says, I see a lot of beautiful women wearing turbans I don't think less of them. I think they look smart, and a lot of times they open their mouth and prove they are smart. Having good hair is an obsession. Yeah, so I agree with you. Now, when you say turbans, we ain't talking about they're like the head wraps and stuff like that, the festive head wraps. We talking about bonnets. And I agree. Just because you're wearing a bonnet don't mean you're stupid. So I totally agree with you. And gonna get you. How you doing? He says Lottery Flap laughs on YouTube. She's a black 90-year-old whose mind and body and so is better than most of us who watch her. She is unbelievable. You can learn a lot from Miss Holla. She won your comment cutoff. I've never heard of her. That's interesting. I have to check it out. I love listening to older people. They got that wisdom and the knowledge. So yes, indeed. All right. Facts and Feelings says Marcel will get less votes if he ran as independent. Old black people are stuck in the Democratic Party. They will never vote for an independent black younger guy, and that's a fact. That's probably why he ran as a Democrat, because he know how we are wired. So absolutely. He said also going to get you help change your life. She is my medicine. I don't need any antidepressant meds anymore. She helped to put a sparkle in my eye. I'm going to check her out. So anyway, I'm going to get to the bottom here because we will be here. Stacy, though, how you doing? Says, I see so many young women today that are tattooed loud, using excessive foul language, abuse, and overly aggressive. There's nothing feminine about them. The behavior is very wild and intimidating. There's truth to that. That there is a lot of truth to that. I will not argue about that at all. All right. And let's see. You say also going to get you. I love her. She's been out there for 5 months and had over 150,000 subscribers. That's how much she is loved. I'm going to check her out. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. All right. So that is, I thought I was at the end. Above, beyond, and forever says, I'm voting Republican. The Dems dropped the ball again. Yes, indeed. All right. So y'all, you know what? I could be here really all day. Yeah, I heard Gavin Newsom is thinking about running. He's the governor of California. I wouldn't be too mad at that.
I'm not voting for no Democrats. None. Zero. Because they keep dropping the ball. You got the numbers. You keep dropping the ball. I'm not voting for no Democrat.
If it was a choice between him and DeSantis, I would vote for Gavin Newsom. I would. I'm not tied to any party, but if one would be better than the other, yeah, sure. But I couldn't see voting for DeSantis for no damn body. So, yeah, Pioneer said he knew I was going to tear into your comment. I didn't tear into it. So anyway, y'all, I would love to be here all night with y'all, but my stomach is grumbling and all of that. And I know Donovan is waiting to go get his big piece of chicken.
It's Sunday. I got to get my piece of chicken, my Sunday chicken, and take my medicine.
Michael said, why Newsom? I like some of his policies. He seems to have been a little bit more progressive for Black people. I'm from California.
But that's California. When you're the president, California won't matter. So he'll change.
Can I give my opinion, brother? I'm from California, so
that's what's wrong with the Black women right there. Prime example. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm unfamiliar with Gavin Newsom. He's I say he's probably one of the more progressive politicians that I have seen, especially in regards to Black people. Like I said, I like the fact that he has put a moratorium on the death penalty, and he specifically said, because I know that there are Black people on death row who didn't do it. There's a lot of people on there too, admittedly. I know it's disproportionately made up of Black people that may not be guilty, and I don't want to be responsible for killing somebody who may be innocent. So I was like, well, that's pretty dope that he was able to be specific about that. So they don't have the death penalty simply because of that. He says, as long as I am governor of California, we will not be pulling the plug on people. So that's one of the reasons. So I hope that helps. Anyway, y'all, we'll see y'all on Tuesday. It won't be live. It'll be Donovan and I. Of course, we'll be back with the Walter on Wealth Wednesdays. And of course, look for my videos throughout the week. You guys do have a great weekend. Stay cool and all that, because it's burning, blazing saddles all over the country. Get something good to eat and, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see y'all later. Of course, we have a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Become a member. Subscribe if you haven't already. And most definitely like this video. See y'all later. Peace.